Before we begin, a quick note that this episode does contain spoilers for the majority of the Star Wars franchise, but more particularly the Clone Wars, Star Wars Rebels, and the Mandalorian. So if you haven't watched any of those, please feel free to come back after you've watched those, but enjoy the rest of the show. Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 2 of the How to Adult podcast. As always, I'm Sam, and I'm joined again, for your pleasure and not mine, by Tom and Jack. How are we, lads?
Heyo!
Good. Hey, we spoke over each other, but hey, it's okay. It's an intro. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, yourselves?
Yeah, not bad. And our guest this week is the General Grievous to our Obi-Wan, Yoda, and Windu, Ieuan. How are you, Ieuan?
I'm alright, thank you, Sam. That's a lovely intro. I'll give you that.
Well, thank you.
Terrible from Tom and Jack.
Wasn't that the one you said it's going to be a really good intro? Is that what that was?
Well, I thought it would get Ryan a little bit riled up, but apparently he's calmed down today, which is
no. You've called him a Seppi, but he's only just finished work, so
give it time.
Yeah.
Halfway through, I'll get angry with you.
Got to get that energy to build back up.
Yeah. Now, lads, did you know that not only is the Millennium Falcon the best hero ship in sci-fi? No, Tom, it isn't the Enterprise. But also, the Star Wars sequel trilogies are fucking shit.
Oh, they're fucking
I did know that.
god awful.
But it is subjective, to be fair. Some people may genuinely enjoy them.
For that, I feel very sorry for them.
You know, last week when we were talking about individual views and what is and isn't.
Oh, controversial ones.
Yeah. It's not the best ship in sci-fi.
Oh, I thought you were about to say you liked them.
Really? After my speech last week, you think I like them?
You never know. You could have had a change of heart.
I mean, it takes us off topic completely because it's not a Star Wars ship. But
Boo!
It's not the Millennium Falcon. Just saying.
2 minutes in, topic already changed. Let's go.
Yeah.
Tom's not making his point. I win.
Hey.
What? Oh, wait. You wanted me to actually name the ship?
Yeah.
Round 1 to the Millennium Falcon.
Battlestar Galactica. Straight up.
I mean, it looks like crap. The Falcon looks elegant. Shut up, you're wrong.
Can I just chuck in Thrawn's Star Destroyer into this?
No,
Even though it's
cannot.
a standard Star Destroyer, it's got a really nice pattern on it. And let's be honest, Star Destroyers are dope.
True.
Apart from the fact that they don't hold any kind of style or match anything to do with the description of it being a destroyer of any kind.
Yeah, there's so many weapons on that thing.
You know what?
It's got
a destroyer class
loaded the
ship
top.
is like.
The new
size.
Sith ships
So
from the
small.
sequels, those are classed as Star Destroyers because those actually destroy planets.
No, they're not destroyers. They're battleship carrier hybrids.
I was going to say, Jack, I agree with you that all the Star Destroyers are good, apart from the ones in Rise of Skywalker. I should have mentioned, by the way, this episode is going to be incredibly Star Wars heavy, as we mentioned in the last episode, because basically
That's why
whenever. Yeah, exactly. I was going to say, because basically when Tom, Ieuan, myself, and Jack get in a conversation, it ends up probably being Star Wars and you end up going for about 3 hours. So we thought, why not put it in a podcast form?
Yeah.
Hey.
Perfection.
Literal.
I want to do that French kiss. Mwah. Style
chef's kiss.
Thing.
The French
chef kiss.
French kiss.
Chef kiss.
Chef's kiss.
Chef kiss the podcast.
It's nice. It's from Muppets, isn't
I'm
it?
done.
The chef's kiss thing.
I don't know.
Is it from the Muppets?
Is that
That's
where it
really off
originated?
topic.
Well, Jack, it's as we discussed last week, Disney own everything, so it's kind of on topic.
Is
That's
that
true.
really
That
the
is
play
true.
you're making with that? Disney own nearly everything, so it's fine.
Well, I mean, they did end up adding about half of the stuff from Fox onto Disney Plus this week.
That's
so
very true.
Yeah.
Don't you have to pay extra
No.
for that?
no, it's included in
no.
the price. All of Futurama, all of Family Guy, all of American Dad, all of stuff like
Yeah.
24.
It's all the stars stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Kingsman's on there. Deadpool 1, but not Deadpool 2, which I found a little
No,
bit
it's
odd.
Deadpool 2, not Deadpool 1.
Yeah, that's what I said.
I thought you said 2 wasn't
Oh,
on there and 1 was.
Oh, I might have done, but I meant Deadpool 2 and Deadpool 1 isn't
Yeah.
on Disney Plus, which is, as I said, slightly odd.
That's because it's
but-
on Netflix.
I think I know why. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's on Netflix.
terrible and shocking.
But I mean, Disney have got enough money; they could just probably buy out the Netflix deal, or just buy Netflix wholesale.
Well, they couldn't do it with
Probably.
Spider-Man.
Buy Netflix wholesale. You make it sound like they're just going to buy the inventory of Netflix and just leave the company be.
They're just gonna go pop down to their local Tesco. Yeah, I'll have a Netflix, please. Cheers.
No, well, they buy all the stuff that Netflix have got the rights to, and then buy all of Netflix's original stuff.
Oh, okay. So when you go onto Netflix, it's got like maybe 1 or 2 shows on there, and that's
Maybe
it.
3 movies.
Yeah, like Friends, and that's it.
Yeah, just Friends. Friends isn't good enough to be bought by Disney.
I mean, to be fair, Friends does fill up a large majority of the watch time on Netflix still, doesn't it?
I think so, yeah, because everyone just rewatches it for some reason.
Yeah.
Guys,
I don't know why.
I've got some bad news for you.
What?
This isn't Star Wars.
It's really not.
That's true. Hold on, just pass over this little bit. Just we'll get back to the Star Wars in a second.
Less than 5
I was gonna
minutes
say though, they I know it's completely unrelated to the Star Wars. We'll get there.
We've got like an hour and a half, 2 hours to fill it. It'll be fine.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. That was it. I lost my train of thought. It's back again. Netflix did the same with YouTube Red, I think. Like with the Netflix joke of just straight up buying all their original content.
Yeah, yeah.
Because that's what happened to a show that I love, the Cobra Kai. That used to be a YouTube Red series, and now it's a Netflix original. So I guess that kind of happens.
Pretty sure YouTube Red just isn't a thing anymore.
Yeah,
No.
I don't think it exists. They tried and it
Miserably.
failed so
I think
hard.
it is just about, but knowing Google, it'll probably last another 2.5 months.
It's just like that YouTube Premium that keeps popping up on your phone whenever you open YouTube. Hey, you want to try YouTube
Oh, yeah.
Premium?
That is red, isn't it?
Oh no, that's running. People buy
Yeah.
that.
Really?
Yes.
Why?
No idea.
I
What does it
I
do?
asked my girlfriend the exact same thing, and she could not give me a straight answer.
Bought
Does
it.
she have it?
Yes.
Oh,
Jesus.
no.
Just watch a 30-second advert. Like,
Just stab her.
you get to skip it within
no,
like 5 seconds anyway.
Apparently, she got it so that she could like listen to music and watch videos and stuff whilst also playing games on her phone. So she could just have the little window in the corner.
Is that what it gives you now?
See,
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can download videos.
After all this time, they've only thought of a way, but no, you have to pay for it.
Yeah.
do you know what's funny?
Like
before
we know all these
YouTube-
converters are out there where people can literally download
Yeah.
this stuff for free, but we're going to make them pay for it because it's through YouTube.
It's convenience, isn't it? You're paying for convenience.
But no, you know the yeah. What is
I guess
funny
you're right.
with that is before Premium, I'm pretty sure you could still keep at least the audio playing in the background when you went off the app, anyways. So they were like, "Let's scrap that, slap a charge
No,
on
you
it."
can still as well because like whenever I'm doing editing and I've got the tabs open and it's not on my main window, all the audio is still playing in the background.
Oh.
No. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. On PC and Mac, that's
Fine.
fine.
On phones and
On a
tablets.
mobile device or tablets,
No.
Nope.
Oh, that's what you mean.
Yeah.
If
I mean-
it's app related,
You can't do
Yeah,
it from
I
the
guess
app.
you're right in that case.
So as long as as long as you're using anything that isn't the YouTube mobile app, it will keep playing.
Yeah,
pretty
basically.
much. Or the PlayStation app. But
I mean,
that's
the thing
a bit
is though,
different.
even then with something like the mobile app for YouTube, like if you've got an Android phone, you can do split screen, and that's how the video keep going. Yeah, you'll get a reduced view on some of the apps, but like,
teach me the ways. I didn't know about this.
This is the way.
Also, I've got an
go on.
I've got an even. We've tried to say we wouldn't talk over each other, and yet here we are. I do
know.
apologise for this this massive audio, oh yeah, there's another solution. Assuming that you have access to another device, is that play whatever game that is on your phone and just watch YouTube on some other device, assuming you have them available.
Yeah, I do that
Yeah.
anyway. So it's like
'Cause-
YouTube is offering a service that I'd say probably 95% of the people that use YouTube won't use and don't need
Yeah.
to use.
It's the same thing I have with Spotify Premium. It's
Yeah.
like I don't. This is still going off the Star Wars track. Well, we're almost 10 minutes in. We'll get there eventually.
Jack,
We started Star
Disney
Wars.
Plus is a streaming service. All these other stuff are streaming services. It all links in
Disney's
somehow.
Disney's going to buy them eventually, so it is Star Wars related in a roundabout way.
Good man, good man.
So it's
Think like a professional.
Spotify. No, it's Spotify on the PS4. It's where I mainly use it.
Yeah.
You have to listen to ads still if you don't have premium, but I think it's thanks to a little deal Spotify and PlayStation have going. You can still select songs. You don't have to do shuffle. Because, like, I swear, like, people don't want ads, obviously, but a lot of people also buy premium just so they can select their songs.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you don't even have to do that with a PlayStation, and that's how you get around the Spotify hack. Does not work if you're walking anywhere with a phone, but
I
if
don't
you
know.
happen
Sling
to
your
be sat at
PlayStation
home-
over your shoulder, you'll be fine.
Oh, that's true. Stick a I don't know, wait, PlayStation and a power source.
And £500 for the
You don't need the
PlayStation.
screen part.
Okay, so what we talking here?
PlayStation
Like
is like
shopping trolley full of kit?
150.
I'm sure somehow you could get the Spotify app on like a PS Vita.
Probably, maybe. Oh,
Do those
maybe.
things still exist?
They
Yeah, I've
exist,
got 'em.
but they're not sold.
I've got one. I use it a decent amount of time.
I'm pretty sure more people still play the original
PSP.
Game Boy than they do the PS Vita.
I mean, there's no doubting the Vita isn't a popular machine, but it's still around. I think it's still even spotted
No,
on the
it's-
PlayStation Store.
It's really popular in Japan, I believe.
Oh. Just like the
'Cause,
GameCube.
Oh, I remember
That bounced
the
back.
GameCube.
I remember.
I remember that.
What the GameCube? What was it? Sold like 25 million units, I think, by the end of its lifespan, which is pitiful.
Jeez.
My friend had one. I used to play it. Oh, those were the days. I was only like
Yeah,
5.
I know people like GameCubes.
We need to get back on topic, otherwise I'll start spilling all the bits and pieces I've put in a piece I'm writing about old consoles. Let's get back onto Star Wars, shall we?
Yes, all right. Well, Disney may buy all these services, but they haven't bought them yet. So let's go back. Let's go back to Disney's parent company.
Disney's parent company.
Disney doesn't have a parent company. Disney
I was
is
gonna
the
say-
parent company.
Disney is
It's the conglomerate.
Disney is basically just the babysitter looking after all its kids.
Sorry, no,
Or like the parent looking after the
Disney's
kids.
parent is literally just Mickey Mouse. Just sat on his throne.
It's adopting all these things.
Yeah. Is it? You see that? That is mine now.
Disney, it's time to buy another company. Yes, dear.
Well, as we talked about in the last episode, like I wouldn't be surprised if they did that with Sony. Just Sony money trouble. Yeah, how much? $2.5 trillion. Yeah, it's pocket change, isn't it?
That'd be fine.
Well, I mean, they'd
Disney
get
is just
Spider-Man back
waiting
then,
for
wouldn't
the
they?
day.
Yeah.
Yeah, Disney is waiting for the day they can buy Sony. I guarantee it. Like as soon as Sony starts struggling with money or anything,
Again.
They'll be
and
straight in there.
again. Yeah, Disney's
Yeah.
just going to be like, right, you're mine now.
Does that mean it stop being the PlayStation and start being the Disney station?
Oh god.
Oh, please don't.
I
No.
wouldn't be surprised if by 2030, like 50% of the market of entertainment has
It's gone to Disney.
like owned by Disney, owned by the Walt Disney Company.
Honestly, if they don't like take over a space agency and then launch a massive TV into the sky, I'm not interested.
God, imagine Disney buying Elon Musk's SpaceX because they're making decent headway and they're just going, yeah, that's now Disney. That's now Disney SpaceWorks.
God.
No, his little cyber chips that he's making, or whatever it is, the
Oh,
literal
no.
brain implants sponsored by Disney.
That's Bill Gates, isn't it?
No,
I think
that's
I think
Elon
it's
Musk.
Elon Musk.
That is
Yeah.
Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Ugh,
They're ready for human trials, apparently.
Clone Wars is coming
God,
to life.
conspiracy.
That would be
Theories.
really cool. Welcome
God.
to Cyberpunk
Yeah,
2077.
there we go.
sponsored by
God,
Disney.
No, it's the chips from Clone Wars. It's the clone
Gone
chips.
full circle.
Oh
Clone Wars
no! No! Order 66 is Order 66 isn't the extermination of the Jedi. Order 66 is the extermination of anything that isn't Disney.
yeah.
It's just, they're gonna get everything.
It's like stormtroopers walking around with the Disney logo on their chests.
Jack, you missaid. It's not the extermination of anything anti-Disney. It's the extermination of any new intellectual property.
Just conjoined. You just play an Xbox one day and you hear Order 66 pop up and you just grab the sledgehammer and smash it. And then just spray Mickey Mouse on top of it as a sign of victory.
Brilliant.
Not PlayStation, because Disney would have bought PlayStation by then.
Yeah.
Yeah, Microsoft are never giving up Xbox.
No.
No, not a chance. Just everyone
That's why Disney just buys Microsoft.
Yeah, Disney will get its army of brainwashed chip soldiers to go to Bill Gates' house and force him to sell Microsoft.
Why have I got this image in my head of a dystopian world where it's like in the battle of the mega corporations, it's Disney and everything it owns versus Apple and Microsoft. Like that unholy alliance to take down the mega corporation.
It's when Android and Apple have to team up to beat down the newest entertainment
That's
system.
when you know when things are going bad.
To beat down Huawei.
I gotta say though, weirdly, as funny as it is to joke about the Disney thing,
Yeah.
like this is going back to the controversial opinions, I suppose, of last 2 weeks ago.
Oh dear.
But theoretically, if everything was owned by the same company, that would work out really well in terms of being able to do things like really weird crossovers or same licensing fees.
No, I'm telling you now, if that ever happens and all entertainment is
but it
owned
spoils creativity.
by one company, I'm going off the grid, I'm going to go live in a forest somewhere, and I'm never going to touch media ever again.
No, Tom, they'll still find you. What'll happen is you'll get bored. You'll start writing a book, and then as soon as you start, like, I don't know, you're about halfway through,
Just
like
a
Disney
lawyer knocks
finds
on the
you
door.
and then purchases the right for the book you've only half written. That's what's going to happen. They will find you.
Jack, they're going in further. They purchase the lease to his house and go, give us your intellectual proproperty or your else
They just purchase Tom.
Yeah.
They skip everything, just buy Tom straight up.
You guys are looking too big. You're looking
Yeah.
too big. They're literally just going to buy the paper company that I bought the sheets from and the company that makes the pens with the ink. They can then say they own that page.
Oh my god.
You're thinking
You've got to
too
put a
large
Disney ad
here.
in your book.
Hang on, so we're saying Disney are going to buy companies that make paper, they're going to buy Bic and any other company that makes
They're
pens.
going to physically own everything that is ever made using pen and paper, yes.
Yeah.
To which point I will start
Before we get
making my
into
own
this-
ink, and I will be drawing on stone tablets.
Yeah, but then you found out Disney's bought the right to all the stones in the area you're making these. They're following you, Tom. They will never release. You're just gonna...
For legal purposes, this is his satire. This is satire for legal purposes.
Yeah, for legal reasons, this is a joke. But no, you're just going to be like midway through making your ink and then you spill the ink pot over and then it forms a perfect outline of the Mickey Mouse head. You realise they've already caught you.
With a million of
So
satellites.
you know that material? You know that material you can get where, like, if you superheat it, it like collapses itself down into like a weird shape. I reckon.
No.
No, you not heard
No.
of this?
No.
It's
No.
like paper, but when you like set it on fire or whatever, instead of burning, it just sort of shrinks. It's like shrink
wrap.
things you put on wires. No, not shrink wrap. The rubber things you put
Oh,
on wires, you heat
yeah,
them up
heat
and they like
shrinks.
shrink round and yeah. It's like that, only it's more of a papery substance, and you can set it to being certain shapes. I feel like I'd have that, and then I'd like freak out because suddenly there's the Disney logo on there. I'd go and like throw it into a fire, and it just shrinks down, and suddenly it's a solid
Nah.
Disney logo.
It wouldn't shrink, it'd expand into a Disney logo.
Oh, yeah. It wouldn't shrivel up. It would just. It would take whatever's in the fire. It just forms a new form of mini on fire Mickey Mouse just out of the flames and embers. It starts walking towards you and starts branding the logo on everything you've ever
becomes
touched.
sentient.
Jack, you've put an image in my head of, you know that the bits in Harry Potter where the faces end up in the fire pit.
I think I know what you're on about. Yeah.
I mean, does that and it's just Mickey talking to him like, sell me all your property. Hey, Pluto.
See, I went the complete other direction. I said like pyramid head, but instead of like having the pyramid, it was like just a massive Mickey Mouse helmet.
Give me your credit card details.
Walking
Tom.
towards me with instead of a sword, it's just a massive pen.
Instead of doing. Oh no! I don't even know if this is a pyramid head ability. I'm pulling out a Dead by Daylight, but instead of him doing like these weird tracks in the cages he has, it's with his drawing with a pen. It's just a line of ink, and all the cages and tracks are just forms of paper signing over your property. Anyway, should we get back to Star Wars now? We're 20 minutes in.
Yeah,
Speaking-
probably should.
Speaking of mega corporations,
For legal
that's the segue I'm using.
reasons, that's a joke.
So, yeah, exactly. So, Ieuan, the reason we brought you on here is because, as we mentioned earlier, you, much like us, get into very, very deep discussions about Star Wars stuff. And this year we've seen 2 massive pieces of kind of Star Wars media-related news. The first is obviously the list of 10 new shows that are coming to Disney Plus, all Star Wars related. Obviously, that was linked into what we said last week. 41 new shows and movies coming to Disney Plus, but as we said, 10 of them are exclusively Star Wars. And then there's the news that Electronic Arts lost their license to exclusively develop Star Wars games. So we've got one coming from the developers behind Tom Clancy's The Division, and lots of other developers are reportedly looking at making Star Wars IP. Going back to the old Lucasfilm days, when you had, BioWare doing the Knights of the Old Republic, you had TT doing the Lego games, you had, all kinds of companies making a variety of different quality of Star Wars game. So let's begin with, I think we should begin with the list of shows, because basically I want to get this out of the way first. Obviously, going through this list, there's one that pops out to me, because I remember distinctly when I saw it, Ieuan, you went on a bit of a rant to me, which I found absolutely hilarious.
I think I know what this is.
Hey,
Ieuan, have you any thoughts on Star Wars Visions?
No, don't like it already. Not been made into anime.
I mean, but why though? Because this is my thing. It's like, surely with a property like Star Wars, we've seen it in various different forms of media. So obviously, we've had live action stuff. We've had The Mandalorian in more of a TV format. We've also got the movies. We've got the animated films. We've had the animated shows in the form of Clone Wars and Rebels. So why not anime? Why are you so against Star Wars going in this direction of trying to appeal to a different set of audience, like the a Force of Destiny show or something like that? It might appeal to a younger audience, but gets that audience into Star Wars.
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably just an old Star Wars fanatic who likes things the way it is, really. And I've grown up with Star Wars being Star Wars and it not venturing off into some Japanese place that I've no idea. I've got no idea anything about it, really. I mean, some of the new stuff they've brought out. I mean, have you seen Star Wars Resistance on Disney Plus? No, because it's shit.
No, I haven't. But I've
that's
seen...
why you've got.
I've seen good things as regards to the character depiction.
But, I mean, the way they've
the
gone
main
with it, I mean,
character.
it's for like 5-year-olds now. I mean, I never watched Rebels because I thought, oh my god, this is such a childish thing. You don't see any shooting or death or anything like that compared to the Clone Wars.
Well, to be fair, okay, what I would say to that is, so I think to me the start of Rebels and the start of Clone Wars very much mirror each other, in which they start pretty kiddie. I mean, Clone Wars is less kiddie, but there's it's still a lot of kind of appealing to young audiences. But there are definitely moments in the final season of Rebels where it goes very much like the latter stages of Clone Wars. It gets dark, it gets darker, it gets kind of more into, what we know as kind of leads up to episode 4 of the original trilogy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and on the point of you don't see a lot of death, you do. I mean, what I would say is the one side in which I would kind of agree with it is that the only characters you really see die in the early seasons are the faceless stormtroopers, and they can be mown down in their thousands.
I mean, granted, you see,
and as you say, in like Clone Wars, you do see characters with faces get killed.
It's not just that. I mean, through like the later seasons of the Clone Wars, I know in the earlier seasons you saw them getting blasted, and there's like a black blast mark on their chest plate of the clones. But as you go through the later seasons, when you see is it Commander Fox? Is it when he dies on the Banking Clan world? And they're literally just.
It's not Fox. I can't remember who it is, but I know what you mean. He's covered in blasted bolts.
You don't see anything like that nowadays, really, do you?
But there's the going on from that. There's like the underwater. I know the I can't remember what the planet's name was.
Mon Cala.
Mon Calamari, yeah.
Yeah, Mon Cala.
Yeah, the Mon
Yeah,
Cal
that
episode.
sort
Yeah.
of that little arc. I know it's not the most popular
arc.
one, but that was very gruesome in what they
Yeah.
got away with.
I
Because
love
like there was
that one.
terms,
Yeah, 'cause you had the
like
shark.
the blood and
Yeah.
the shark dude getting blown
Oh,
up.
it
You
wasn't.
literally see
It
his
wasn't
head.
blood. No, Jack. It wasn't blood. It was ink. It was
Ah,
ink.
That's what
It was red ink. Red ink.
It's red ink.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's like you see his literal like dead
Yeah.
head floating down in the water at one
Or he's
part.
biting the half
Like-
of Mon Cala off.
Yeah.
That was a pretty
But-
gruesome
No,
arc.
I get what.
Or half of a clone trooper
Yeah.
in some of
Yeah.
the shots.
No, I totally get what you mean though. It's like a lot.
You go from the gruesomeness of
friendlier.
the wars. Yeah.
I would also say that I get what you mean with respect to more keenly in terms of some of the subject line of some of the episodes. Because you look at season 1 of Clone Wars, it goes from what's the
Cat
first
and
episode
mouse.
again? First episode is.
Are we on about canon here, or like
Yeah.
the storyline, or the literal first release
That's it.
episode?
There's the chrono. There's the
So as in, I'm going
Ieuan
from
can tell you both.
the episode, the way they were released. The way they were released.
if you
is
go
the way I was
chronological
gonna
or the
go.
way they were released,
obviously
Ambush is the first one.
Yeah. Because I was going to say, if you go obviously chronologically, then
Yeah.
it's all mixed around. But in terms of the way they're released, you've got Cat and Mouse, which is about the clones growing as people, and then you go straight into the Malevolence arc, which is literally about a Turpit Bismarck style super weapon hunting down and killing Republic troops. Like, they weren't afraid in the early seasons of Clone Wars to go really to get into that type of subject matter. I mean, I can't remember which episode, but one of them, the Blue Shadow
Yes.
virus
Blue Shadow.
arc, is literally about a chemical weapon.
That is.
It's very on the nose when you think about that. It's a chemical weapon being released by a scientist who happens to have a very German-sounding accent.
Yes.
Yeah, it's kind of like
Yeah, yeah,
Blue
that was a
Shadow
bit-
virus.
Season
Shadow
1,
virus.
episode
Yeah.
17
Yeah.
is Blue Shadow Virus.
All right movie though.
I've got it on my
Knows.
iPad next to me.
you mean Clone Wars buff?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I was going to say, so just quickly touching on the Vision stuff. Tom, Jack, what are your thoughts on kind of Visions as, because obviously all we know is at the moment is it's a one-off episode of some kind of
Can
Star
I correct
Wars
you on that?
anime
I am
thing.
currently sat on the StarWars.com, which is the Lucasfilm
Mm-hmm.
project site, and it says, quote, presenting all new creative takes on the galaxy far, far away, Star Wars Visions will be a series of animated short films celebrating Star Wars through the lens of the world's best anime creators. The anthology collection will bring 10 fantastic visions from several of the leading Japanese anime studios, offering a fresh and diverse cultural perspective on Star Wars. End quote.
Yes, you're correct. Sorry, I read the Forbes article wrong. My apologies. Yes, it'll be one-off episodes with regard to standalone stories, each episode for 10. Jack, Tom, what are your thoughts on, before we get in more into kind of go? Because I do want to go back and touch on kind of the subject matter that Rebels and Clone Wars touched on, and how it was as different. But I want to get your takes on Star Wars Visions first.
Jack, go first.
Alrighty. So I really like the concept, but I quite like anime as well. As I used to watch a lot of it when I was back in secondary school. I was a massive anime fan. I didn't tend to watch the more popular ones, watch like the more abstract or less known. But I do really like this idea because it does give a sort of more, I suppose, more cultural, but that's kind of the right word to go with, like kind of the right phrase. Like, it gives a different cultural spin on it and allows them to tell it and show it in a different style.
Quote,
'cause even
offering a
though-
fresh and diverse cultural perspective to Star Wars. End quote.
There we go. So yeah, I was using the correct kind of terms, but yeah, having the different animation style and the different cultural style and being able to show it in a different light, I think it'll be a really nice, fresh perspective for all fans, like even from the West and from the East as well, and where there's more probably going to have a different cultural spin on it, and like a different take as they say they want to go. But no, it'd be really nice.
Because what I would say is that, Ieuan, is that, you know, as I said, I don't think it's kind of like a bad thing to see, you know, different takes on the Star Wars on the Star Wars story, but also it's not like we haven't seen different styles of animation in the Star Wars before. You know, the 4 animated shows. I mean, if you add in the Lego ones, that's 5 different animation styles. Like, I mean, I guess there's a little bit of similarity between Clone Wars and Rebels, but there is still a difference in their art styles. So it's not like we haven't seen this kind of thing.
Point out as well that when the Clone Wars was first released, like within its first few weeks, it got slated because everybody thought Star Wars should and would always be live action, and they didn't like the fact that it was going to be animated at all. And now it's one of the
most popular.
It's just another bit that's it's just another part to Star Wars now.
Yeah.
I mean, even looking back at the old 2003 Clone Wars show, that's a completely different art style to everything
we don't talk about that one.
On
No,
from Disney.
Sam.
No, but it's an example in that we've seen.
No.
Everyone's a critic, huh?
I mean, granted, I'll give Visions a go and see what it's like, but I mean, I've never watched anime before, so asking me is.
I think I'm.
But you can't shake off that kind of inherent.
I mean, it's
that inherent kind of going with maybe.
It's one of those things, though. It's. I'm not a fan of anime, but that's mainly because I don't understand. Because anime ranges, like the storylines and the worlds that are in anime, they change
constantly,
and they're different. And I don't, I can never understand it because it goes from one to the next to the next to the next, and everyone's like, "Oh, you should watch this one, watch that one," and they are completely like disconnected from each other. That I can't follow it. I think.
Yeah, I have that problem with
this
anime
being
myself.
Star Wars. The limitations on what the in-universe technology can do, what they are allowed to do and not do within in the world, and like the limitations are already set. I know the world and I know what it is, so I think just viewing it in a different style would be interesting. So I'm not writing it off straight away, but it's Star Wars.
Yeah.
And with it being Star Wars, it means there's a story in there. And if they're making this big deal out of it, then they're going to call back to it in later things, and I don't want to miss that. So
very true.
It's one of those things. Even if I absolutely hate it, I guarantee you I will watch every single one of them from start to finish just to make sure I don't miss anything.
Almost like Tom, you don't want to miss out on anything because it might reduce your enjoyment of another Star Wars.
Exactly!
Go back!
Wait, hang on.
Yeah,
No, that goes against one of my points before. Shut up!
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. That's what I was getting at. Is you went against me that entire episode 2 weeks ago, and I'm right. I was right.
Fight.
Wait, what was that on?
I just didn't make it with the right property. I mentioned Marvel, and you said this is Disney, but if it's Star Wars, you get really pissed off.
What was that on? Oh, no, my point back then was it didn't matter because the Marvel writers are good at being able to make importance on certain characters for specific storylines, so you didn't have to. That was the point back then. I didn't say that it was a bad idea.
You said Disney.
I can't remember.
You didn't say the Marvel writers. You said Disney.
Oh. Well, I mean, it still all falls into one point. I'm sure I could. I'm sure I can watch, not watch this and still be able to understand the characters should they possibly turn up somewhere else. But it doesn't matter.
You just said you'll get less enjoyment.
I don't know. I've not watched it yet. It's not out yet. Shut up.
I'd say.
Actually, say Jack. I think that's a point
Disney
to me.
is already chasing me across the country with their big pyramid head Disney Mickey Mouse character and his giant pen. I don't need you coming at me like this as well. I have enough problems in my life.
Don't forget the fire demons.
No, not the fire demons.
But yeah, on the Visions front again with the anime thing, I get back to what you're saying with because when you look at a lot of Western cartoons, mainly American ones, it kind of just fits into two brackets. There's like kids, or like those aimed at kids, and some that can be enjoyed by adults as well. that all sort of follow similar styles depending on age range, but it's like a general sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like if you watch a cartoon, you kind of know what you're going into.
It's like you've got the difference between like Cartoon Network and Adult Swim.
And like there's going on to that, there's ones made for adults. So like I was about to say one that I watched recently, but I forgot. It's same guy who created Regular Show. I think it's it's basically it's a cartoon aimed at adults. Guy used to work on Cartoon Network and now makes one for Adult Swim or whatever it is. It's on Netflix. I unfortunately can't remember the name. I'll have to look it up and just drop it in. But when you're watching
Big Mouth?
No, not Big Mouth. I think it's called Close Enough.
No.
Let me just check. Just got a tippity tappity on my keyboard.
It's all right. We can just like superimpose it in the editing process afterwards. It'll be showing on screen now.
It is called Close Enough. I just googled it. Googled.
Googled.
I googled.
Tom,
this.
you swine.
I'm sorry. Am I breaking the fourth wall too much? This is why you love recording with me.
And after googling, but got the back to the point I was making. Sorry, rambling in my own head. So with Western style cartoons a lot, if you're going to watch a cartoon, you know what to expect. But with anime, it could literally be anything. Like you could be watching some sort of really, really dark, gritty horror genre thing that's filled with gore and terrifying things. And then the next one you could watch, I don't know, even maybe by the same studio, would just be some like really light-hearted comedy. And then the next thing after that could be something that's basically borderline pornography. Like you really don't know what you're getting.
Oh, you asked me what show it was last week. The last time we did this, what show it was that I watched, and I just couldn't get a handle on it as well when it came to anime.
Mm-hmm.
I found out what the name was. Fairy Tale.
Ah, I've heard of that one, but not watched
it.
It
just confused me. You asked, so I looked it up. There you go.
Yeah, no, that's one of the longest running, I think.
I mean, it's got 3 movies.
Yeah.
I watched one of them and gave up.
Jeez.
One thing I will say I'm looking forward to Visions, if they carry on the sort of anime-esque thing, is all of the openings, if the episodes are going to be different openings or just the same one. Because one thing they do a lot, which I really, really like with anime-style things, is the openings they have for shows. They'll have like a shortened version of a song, but they'll create an entire song for usually the opening and ending credits, and it'll be done by like actual proper bands, and then you can listen to them wherever. But yeah, we'll probably get a really nice Star Wars related song.
Fair enough.
So that's a positive.
If we can't take anything out from the show,
we're gonna get. It's gonna be like the Sonic games.
Yeah.
It could be absolute shite, but the soundtrack's gonna be gold.
I'm saying it now. If I have to read subtitles, I'm out.
I don't think
I do not need
they'll either
subtitles.
subtitle and dub it, or they'll just go straight into a dub. I think it's probably the way they go.
Yeah, I doubt it would be native,
all in Japanese,
done natively for the Japanese audience. But I mean, I wouldn't put it past them to do it in a version where all the animation of the mouse line up for the Japanese audience, but then it can be dubbed quite well for English, Spanish, French, whatever. Speaking
surprise
audience.
me if that's how they did it, because that happens a lot with anime, anyways. Like companies such as Funimation who do all the dubbings of the anime, anyways.
It's going to be painful to watch.
They're not. I know loads of people hate dubs, but a lot of them aren't as bad as people seem to make out.
My one problem with when you see like dubbed kind of shows, because I thought maybe, I'm not sure if it counts as an anime, but when I was younger, I watched the Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah, that 100% counts.
TV show.
100% counts.
When I was younger.
Yeah.
Oh, does it? Okay, right. And I always remember that there would be points when something on screen would happen, and then there'd be a long pause where the character's mouth is open, and it's like it's clear they're saying something in like this, making a larger point in the Japanese version, and it's just like very simplified for the English speaking audience. So I wonder if we're going to get that. I hope not. But that's kind of a thing that hopefully they'll avoid for that kind of show.
Yeah.
As I said, I'm not entirely convinced by like anime kind of stuff, but Tom said, I'm completely willing to give it a go. You know, it's a Star Wars thing. I'll watch most Star Wars stuff.
Can I put a point in? Do we know who's like creative director and stuff like that?
Not a clue.
That's going to make a big difference. I mean, if it's bloody Kathleen Kennedy, I know she's apparently gone now, and Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau has taken over. But I mean, she's still got a creative directiveness over the bloody Acolyte series that's coming out. So I mean, she's got directive creative stuff like that. I mean, we can then see it not being as good as we hope.
There's because it's obviously very recently been announced. There's so few details on it. I can't find out who the creative director is at the moment. But it's super important. I doubt that. I wonder if they would give it to different hands. Because obviously, you know, my probably preferred creative director would be Mr. Dave Filoni.
Yeah.
But I wonder if he's going to be like, if he's going to go, no, all I'm focusing on is Bad Batch and
Mandalorian
and Ahsoka.
Yeah,
that's time when that show goes out.
And Boba Fett.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah,
I think it'll could potentially be a Japanese creative director for each different shows as well. It would not surprise me. Also on the Kathleen Kennedy front, she did.
Yeah, go on.
Like, people do forget, even though she may not have had the best stuff now, she has been at Lucasfilm for a long time. Like, she helped produce and I think was one of the main producers on Temple of Doom for Indiana Jones and that sort of thing.
Oh, yeah, crikey, was she?
I only noticed that because I was watching it the other day and her name popped up right really at the top of the credits. Like, she'd done so much.
I thought she was a Disney appointee.
No, she's been with Lucasfilm since 1981. I just had a look.
Really?
Crikey.
What? You got this so bloody wrong.
Good question. That is a really good question. Like, she did so much good stuff, and then this has kind of gone down the toilet a little bit. I feel like I'm just going to blame Rian Johnson. I mean, that seems what everyone does.
She's been
was she in a creative role at?
That means she's been there since like the original trilogy. Then.
Yep.
She's gone through original trilogy, prequels, and now she had creative directness over bloody the sequels. Did she have some sort of a brain aneurysm or something? I made her forget how to do stuff or what?
Jesus.
She must have, because I'm going
a bit dark.
I've just gotten her wiki up. I know everyone loves a bit of Wikipedia. These are films that she was the producer of. And considering The Force Awakens is on this list, The Last Jedi and The Last Jedi, you're probably not going to think great of this. Sorry. I'm going to rephrase that. Considering those films are on this list, you are going to continue thinking, what the fuck happened? She has produced things along the lines of E.T., Arachnophobia, Jurassic Park.
Yep.
What?
Jurassic Park 3. Tintin, I'm pretty sure that was really good. Warhorse. Like, she has done amazing things.
She was a producer on.
Warhorse.
Executive producer on Back to the Future. For that.
AI, artificial intelligence, I'm pretty sure was pretty
good.
Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Stop. I'm seeing a pattern here. How many
Spielberg
come out of that and look more into what she's been creative directing as opposed to producing?
Ooh, good thing.
Because producing, she doesn't have any power over what stuff does. It's literally producing is you need to get something for the director before the director even knows they want it.
Well, I was going to say that is that I wonder with something like because it says that she was on Temple of Doom, she was associate producer, and I wonder if I can't remember was she creative producer or executive producer on the Star Wars stuff. I can't quite remember. But I wonder if it's just that because she's been given a higher... Oh, crikey, I share a birthday with her. I just saw that on her IMDb page. Bloody hell. You know when you got those... You're just looking on someone like IMDb or something, you see their birthday and you're same as yours, like, oh, crikey.
But no, she has been involved in some really, really good stuff. So it's just her recent ones that have flopped a little bit.
It's the stuff she's been...
what do you mean a little bit?
Creative directing, I think, is the issue here.
Yeah. I was going to say, in terms of, so obviously we mentioned a little bit earlier when we went to get back onto the stuff on the Rebels versus Clone Wars stuff. Obviously, another one of the shows that is coming out is Bad Batch, which, as far as we're aware, is going to be in the same kind of animation style as Clone Wars. It's going to obviously follow the Bad Batch from the end of season 7.
Ooh.
You know when it comes out?
Believe how
They've put a release date.
Oh, Tom's got another
They've
theory.
put a release date.
4th of May.
May the 4th.
Oh, have they?
They're
May the
releasing it
4th.
on Star Wars Day, exclusively on
Nice,
Disney
nice.
Plus. With the second
Very good.
episode premiering on Friday, May the 7th. And every Friday after that.
Swines.
Cannot wait.
What do we think in terms of something like, because obviously, you know, you look at the way the Bad Batch was represented in Clone Wars, and you know the way, especially those last few Clone Wars episodes were done. Obviously, you know, you go through the whole Siege of Mandalore arc.
Almost had me in tears again.
Oh, I rewatched it earlier today. I completely forgotten how great the initial bit of that is.
So good. So good.
So good. But yeah, and do we think they're going to approach it? Because as Tom said 2 weeks ago, we believe it's going to be how they fit into the Empire. Do we think it's going to be more of, basically what I'm trying to get at is, do we think it's going to be comedic-ish, like them kind of like being the oddballs in the Imperial Army, or the proper serious-ish but Bad Batch that we got in Clone Wars?
Ooh,
That's a bad way of putting it, but you get what I mean.
good question.
I don't think they'll join the Imperial Army.
No, nor do I.
From looking at what the trailer has shown, they're battling clones on Camino.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
And they're battling clones.
Oh.
I mean, they've got the elite clone force after them. Have you seen that as well?
I haven't seen the. I'll be honest, I haven't seen the trailer yet. I didn't know the trailer.
Oh yeah,
was
trailer's
out.
been out for a
Yeah,
while.
nor did I.
If you watch the... Yeah.
Ieuan, you just sent a chill down my spine when you said that, because I haven't seen the trailer either. And when...
Have you not?
Yeah, no, I hadn't got around to seeing it because I didn't know it was out. But when you say they're battling clones on Camino, that could potentially mean they're bringing... I think it has already been brought into the canon, but they're putting it into film format of the canon of the Camino Rebellion. Because that was an arc that they originally... I think it was an original thing from Battlefront 2, like the original Battlefront 2.
It was from Legends initially.
Yeah. Ooh.
Which was the extended universe, was the original extended universe before Disney bought it out.
So they...
But there's also a thing that, if you think about it, if the clones on Camino are already in the clone armor, and the order has come through already, then they will be executing Order 66. Even though they're on Camino, the chips will have been activated, won't they?
This could be afterwards in the Rebellion, where the Kaminoans, however, I think it's Kaminoans.
It's Kaminoans.
Yeah,
Kaminoans, that's it, yeah.
The Kaminoans make their own batch of clones to rebel against the Empire.
Yeah.
So it could either be the Bad Batch fighting with the Kaminoans or against them.
I'll do that. I didn't know that was in the canon.
It is canon.
Yes
no,
and
it is
no.
canon.
Is it? Oh,
Yes.
sweet.
Because it's the what's it called? Starkiller. It's
Oh, it's a Starkiller storyline.
Yeah, it's the Stark, because he's a clone of a clone of a clone of a Jedi
Of a
who
clone.
was
Yeah.
supposed to. It was like Vader's little experiment to try and.
Side
Yeah.
project.
I thought that wasn't canon.
That is no,
Yeah, I thought that was
that's
in
canon.
Legends.
Oh,
I thought it got
damn.
removed.
it is canon.
That's pretty cool then.
Oh, I thought it got removed when Disney took
It did.
over.
Yeah.
No, it did.
Yeah.
They put it back in.
Oh,
They were
cool.
gonna do something to replace it,
Ah.
and then decided against it.
That's really cool then.
The,
I like
hang
Hang
on,
on, so-
I've got the game.
Fair enough.
What's it called?
Force Awakens. No, that's the film.
Force
Unleashed.
Awakens.
Force Unleashed 1 and
Force
2. Yeah,
Unleashed
they're
1 and
both
2.
canon.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Hang on, how the hell does the ending of Force Unleashed 2 work? Because there's two endings to that. Either the Rebels capture Vader, or Starkiller kills Vader.
Dude, I can't tell you. I just read an article where they said that it was canon again.
Maybe
I just
maybe
work
it's the
here.
Capture,
I've not played Force Unleashed in ages.
maybe it's the capture Vader, and then Vader just escapes because in all the Vader comics we've seen, like there's that little part of where he's just surrounded by rebel troops, and I'm pretty sure he kills them all. But
have you seen the new Vader comics?
Aren't they legends?
The newer Vader comics aren't.
No,
they're all canon.
So there's the 2017 ones are canon, and
there's ones 2017. Okay.
And there's the 2020 ones which have just been released, which I've read are canon, and they are amazing. They open up a brand new light on Vader, which you don't see in the movies.
I need to read them. I only see little snippets.
Oh, they're absolutely brilliant. It's how much Palpatine actually tortures him.
I think there was a really
absolutely.
Oh, you continue.
It's absolutely crazy how much he actually tortures him. Like you see in the movie how he like befriends him and stuff like that, but it's actually you see the torture side of Vader. And you see him start to rebel against the Emperor.
Yeah, there's like the manipulation, because there's a bit I've seen. This is a little tiny spoiler alert, just because I remember this part now. In one of the comic panels that I've seen, it does a really nice bridge between the whole in between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, where after Vader lets Luke escape and doesn't kill him and sort of just takes him easy on that fight. Palpatine is super pissed and just full-on tortures Vader to the point he literally brings him back to Mustafar and chucks him back in the same position he was in when he fought Obi-Wan. And they kind of use that as another reason for why he ultimately betrays the Emperor and like saves Luke. Because it's like, because it's sort of...
he took his saber, and then he said, Palpatine said to him, it's another spoiler alert if you've not seen it, he says you're not allowed to use the Force either. He has to crawl up the side of the banks in Mustafar and build himself his arms again.
Can I just bring this back to Bad Batch for a second? Because I've just read something that might be interesting to some of you. So, Star Wars Resistance is the cartoon for the sequel series, isn't it?
Yes.
So, some of the producers that worked on that, which were Brad Rao, who worked on Rebels and Resistance, and Jennifer Colbert, who worked on Resistance. She also worked on NCIS, apparently. For some reason, they've quoted that. Will be the supervising directors, and Rao will be the supervising director, and Colbert will be the head writer for Bad Batch. So you're saying you didn't like Resistance.
Okay.
Well, the people that were in charge of Resistance are mostly in charge of this.
In charge of writing.
The other executive producers are Dave Filoni, Athena Portelio? Probably butchered that.
Yeah, she did. Clone Wars and Rebels.
Carrie Beck, Josh Rhimes, looks like. And they're all counted as executive producers. They've all worked on Mandalorian, Clone Wars, and Rebels and Resistance.
Okay.
But yeah, just thought you guys...
I mean, if some of them have worked on Rebels and...
So, there's a good team around them. It's whether they...
if they execute it properly.
Are a good working unit.
Honestly, I think as Dave Filoni is up there as like executive producer,
it should work.
I don't think he won't let anything through.
They are his character.
He won't let anything through that doesn't make sense. So I'm feeling pretty confident.
It's like his child.
Yeah, Filoni is like a gift to Star Wars at this point.
He had a big paddy with them when they cancelled the Clone Wars initially. Because literally the following up episodes are the Bad Batch episodes that you see in season 7. Because
they released all of the panels and stuff. Because I remember you sending them to me. Footage. It was like all the drawings and stuff of the.
I had actually watched the Bad Batch episodes probably 2 years before they were actually released, because when Clone Wars was initially cancelled the first time, Disney just released the unfinished animation panels onto YouTube for free.
Oh, sweet!
And so I watched them probably 2 years ahead of them being released properly, because they didn't expect it to come back, and then Filoni was like, "No, I want to finish this properly."
Yeah.
And if I remember rightly, there were 1 or 2 changes that didn't make it into the final product, but for the most part, they were pretty spot on.
It still annoys me that the Bad Batch episodes, they're now suddenly fighting droids that you've never seen before or after.
It's one of the sort of things that you just have to deal with because unfortunately, it was a shortened series. It's been like we still haven't seen that fight between the duel between Cad Bane and Boba, where, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it already, because it is an unreleased clip, where Boba straight up kills Cad Bane, and Cad Bane, they basically have a duel where I think Cad Bane's basically betrayed Boba. Like, Boba's still a kid at this point, but he's now wearing Jango's armor, and eventually he has a duel, and they both shoot each other at the same time, which would both be fatal shots, but because Boba's wearing Jango's Beskar helmet, that's the bullet hole that you see in the helmet. That was from Cad Bane.
Oh, wow.
Because it showed Cad Bane dead on the ground and Boba knocked out unconscious on the ground, where his helmet's been literally shot off and rolled away.
Dented, yeah.
And that sort of like shows the end of Cad Bane's era and the beginning of Boba's, which is a really, really important point.
That's really cool.
Just a bit. I remember watching that clip, actually. It's really interesting.
So good, isn't it? Because otherwise we don't get that bridge. Because until I'd seen that clip, I had no idea what happened to Cad Bane. It's like, you have this guy who's in the Clone Wars.
He just vanished.
The biggest name in bounty
Deadliest
hunting.
bounty hunter.
And then he's just gone.
I was going to say, isn't his last appearance in the... I want to say his last appearance, isn't it in the episode one of the episodes set on Naboo, where it's the supposed plot to capture the Chancellor,
Yeah.
And then just vanishes.
I think you're right,
I think, doesn't he get arrested there?
Yeah.
So I think he must break out again.
That breakout episode actually is a really... I don't know if people rate it, but it's pretty underrated in my opinion in terms of episode quality. It's a fun little episode.
When Obi-Wan's undercover?
Gets shot.
Yeah, I do like that episode. Also, one thing I really love with
it also really shows Anakin going to the dark side.
Yeah, the darkness.
It shows you once again, like, you see why Anakin kind of didn't trust the Jedi and trusted Palpatine more. It's like, why didn't you let me in? You literally made me believe my best friend in the world was killed. Like, you couldn't have told me.
Yeah.
And then hard cut to the end of season 7, and it's like if the Jedi stopped being so arrogant and just let Ahsoka's message get to Anakin, the whole thing could have been avoided. You utter morons.
Because the thing is, Obi-Wan, I feel like, did his best. Crazy. It was just the rest of the Jedi who were like Obi-Wan. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's just triggered something in my mind. I don't know if this is real or like something someone made up, but apparently there's a deleted scene from Revenge of the Sith where Obi-Wan's having a conversation with Padme, and he's basically talking about how he knows like what's going on between them.
That's real.
Yeah. That's actually that was supposed to be, and that was in deleted scenes.
Because where he's I've known what's
because they do it in season 7, don't they?
They do it a little bit.
They nod to it, I think.
There's a
that's what I meant in terms of like.
I hope you told Padme I said hello.
Yeah.
But it's so sweet where he's like, yeah, I know, and there's only so much I can pretend I don't know, but he lets him get away with it because he knows how much Padme makes him happy.
I mean, the thing is, it's like, even before that, in season 5, I want to say, when you've got the Clovis's return arc, you've got Anakin's he's acting like he's all fine and just fixing something in his. All of a sudden, a room appears in the temple, and he's like, and Obi-Wan consoles him like a mate. He's like, look, I understand what's going on. I'm not going to say explicitly what's going on, but I get what's going on here.
Yeah, Obi-Wan's known for
because I mean, I mean, Obi-Wan gets it because he's like the same with Satine.
Yeah.
When he was with Qui-Gon and protecting Satine, and you see him say to her, was like, I would have left the Jedi Order if you just said the word. Like,
those two do greatly love each other, like Obi-Wan and Satine. And then I feel like, I know we've left the Bad Batch a little bit, but I feel like... Again. But I feel like Obi-Wan maybe even be a little bit jealous of Anakin.
Maybe a little. I mean, am I right in remembering that in the Star Wars canon, Mundi's got like a family?
Yes, because it's
Really?
not forbidden for Jedis to have sex and that kind of thing, and like have a family.
It's just attachment,
they're
isn't
not
it?
allowed attachment, because I'm pretty sure it was said that, or somewhere along the lines, that because Kiadamundi's species was very in danger of becoming extinct, he was given orders to essentially, father as many kids as possible. You've got to save your species.
Yeah.
Go forth and multiply.
Yeah, he was literally given orders to go forth, have sex, birth kids. Yeah,
Did they birth from his forehead?
they did.
Oh, Tom.
Or just like popped. Oh, that's a horrible image.
Yeah, but to me, it makes like that. Like whenever I saw that, and obviously watch episode 3 and the Clone Wars and his interactions with Ahsoka and also Anakin, it's like Mundi's a bit of a hypocrite because he's like going about the proper Jedi way. I know it's obviously different circumstances as you say, Jack, but it's like hang on a minute. So obviously as you said, it's different circumstances that his race was going extinct, but you get to have this thing that the majority of Jedi's don't. And yet you're being a snobbish SOB like that ain't on, is it? I've always thought Kiadamundi's a bit of an arse.
To be fair, a lot of the Jedi Council are, because I like in Clone.
They're very arrogant.
Because I like in the Clone Wars,
as we
shown to be good.
As we said at the end of
yeah,
it's like as we said in season 7, they completely palm off Ahsoka when she's trying to inform them of what Maul said.
And it's just like
like she's trying to save your life and you're being arrogant dicks.
Yeah, and when they're just straight up like...
Sorry to talk over, Jack.
It's just when they straight up go like, oh yeah, no, we don't give that to civilians from Hindu.
That's for the council to decide. Citizens.
Yeah.
Like that. Because...
wow.
Yeah, they are... I guess there's a lot of war strain on them, but it does show just how kind of arrogant they are, and...
But you do see when they've all left that Yoda does ask her.
Yeah.
But then she sort of refuses to tell, doesn't she?
It's like, because the thing, it's a wonderful thing that I think, and this is why following is probably the saviour of Star Wars, at least for the most part. As much as he can do without Disney completely fucking up and giving the sequels to Rian Johnson and J.J. Abrams and their creative team that made utter wank. Because the way he does the end of season... Is it end of season 4, end of season 5? The bombing of the temple.
Oh, season 5.
Yeah.
End of season 5,
and they are so quick to boot out Ahsoka, and they are so quick to go, she's guilty, and then like they don't properly apologise to her, and when she's trying to save their lives, again, as you say, their arrogance gets in the way, and that's what ultimately leads to their demise.
Yeah. I mean, you even seen Attack of the Clones, that Yoda even says, the new Jedi, the Padawans are arrogant, but even the older Jedi are arrogant.
Yeah. Because there's that corridor scene, isn't it, between Windu, Obi-Wan and Yoda. It's like, as you say, the new Padawan, he's arrogant, but then a lot of us are.
You say that, but then none of them change their ways.
Not really.
Yeah.
I suppose that is the kind of downside when they're all brought up on this sort of way from birth. That's why Anakin does get his little advantage and is a lot more human and relatable, because he came when he was a lot older. And then Obi-Wan's probably different because he had a lot more abstract of a teacher in Qui-Gon Jinn.
I mean, but then there's one other that comes to mind, actually.
Oh.
I mean, kind of Kit Fisto a little bit, but I was thinking more widely, Plo Koon.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, Plo Koon's one. Because I think it's...
Because I was thinking when I was rewatching season 7 earlier today, and I was thinking, obviously, you've got the bridge, the scene on the bridge where, all of the episode 3 stuff you're hearing, Ahsoka's hearing the visions, which is kind of like, rewatching it was a tad haunting, going, oh yeah, that's all happening at the exact same time. Oh yeah. Or the slaughter of the youngling. Yep. Oh my god.
Sounds like you're getting off on that, to be honest.
No, I'm not.
Murder? Yes.
I'm not. It's more the holy shit, because it's her friend, her Jedi Master is going into the temple, a place where she used to live, just killing everybody. Yep. Again, alongside the 5 at first who were, comrades of hers. But it's you know, as I said, that's the one thing I thought maybe we need to see in Clone Wars is, you know, what happened to like Plo Koon, you know, because like if she can also, I don't know if like I feel because they didn't mention anything about Plo Koon, you know, because we know that he's the one that brought her into the Jedi Order.
Killed.
Oh,
No,
he got
but I
shot
mean
down.
in terms of, no, I know, but what I mean is in terms of, if she hears Plo Koon also in
get
that,
shot down.
or if we just see more of a, you know, if we see more of the ripple effects, you know, reminding us, oh yeah, this is happening at the exact same time, you know, Sakura's been shot by Bly. Greed attempted to kill Yoda. Plo Koon's been shot down. You know, all of these Jedi being slaughtered, and that, you know, now Ahsoka is acutely aware, and it's that because that's the one thing I think that second to last episode of Clone Wars did so well is the moment of realization, because we so rarely see that in any bit of Star Wars. That moment of realization from the Jedi, of, you know, my comrades, those that I've fought side by side for years, have just turned on me. Oh my god, what's happening? Because by that point, you know, most of the Jedi are already dead by the time they get to that moment of realization.
But you also get, well, Obi-Wan has it a little bit, and you have, I suppose, even the clones have it. Like when Rex does his like fine fives bit and then has his chip taken out, and then he's like so apologetic and everything, and then the point where he's crying under his helmet,
the tear that's
that bit broke me. Like when she takes his helmet off and like he's
got a tear running down,
like he's crying and he's still talking like he's the really tough soldier. It's like, you know, they're trying to kill you. We got to do
he knows
this.
what's going on. He's like, we
got to do this to escape, and you know he really doesn't want to, and you see how much it's affecting him. Like it's just done so well.
But I was going to say, so obviously, you know, we've got quite off topic in terms of Bad Batch. You know, it will depend, as we said, on how the approach is. Because Filoni's involved, because they're his bunch of characters, it'll probably done quite well. We've seen what the man has done with so many others. I also wanted to touch on, the more interesting of the, because we know what we're probably going to get from Bad Batch. You know, Visions is a bit up in the air. The Star Wars droid story is, you know, it's the animated series with R2 and 3PO. That's kind of like, we'll see how that goes. I'm not sure I can really stomach even more like Anthony Daniels being the central character. He's obviously in Star Wars history more of a side character, and the man's ego doesn't need that. Honestly, he's one of the most one of the most egotistical men in the film industry, and he plays, like, if I'm right, he still demands that he plays 3PO in every single piece of Star Wars media. You know, you look at all the other actors, and they have been smart enough to go, you know, I can't be tied to this role forever. They've gone, no, we'll give it to talented voice actors. But anyway, obviously, you know, we've also got the likes of Ahsoka, Lando, and Andor. Standalone movies, I think, are also coming. We'll see which ones survive. But I was going to say the more interesting ones are the Rangers of the New Republic and the Acolyte. So if we touch on,
I've got bad points on the Acolyte already.
Okay.
I don't know if I've discussed it with any of you. I know I've probably discussed it with Tom. Is that Kathleen Kennedy is what's the word? Got creative directness over the entire thing. She's basically hired her friend who knows nothing about Star Wars, hasn't even got a favorite Star Wars film, and she's writing the entire series.
That's not a good start.
So that's why I'm sort of worried about these new ones coming in, about who the creative director is, but since she's been apparently booted.
I mean, because apparently it's going to be, according to the synopsis anyway that was released, it's based in the time of the High Republic, which I think is kind of like the Republic's kind of era. So we might get stuff on like Plagueis, Darth Plagueis the Wise, and that kind of thing. It's going to be interesting to see how they approach that, because obviously, you know, the only real time of that stuff we've seen is in the Knights of the Old Republic games from BioWare. God, was that 15 years ago now? Oh, even longer than that. They were the original Xbox time, so probably almost
Jeez.
20 years ago now. I know how time flies, but I just wonder how they'll approach that. Because let's be honest, in terms of the breadth of the Star Wars canon, the era of the Old Republic is extremely niche.
Hmm.
It's not very well known at all, really, because I never played those original games. I've played a little bit of Star Wars: The Old Republic, like the MMO, but in terms of
the MMO, okay, yeah.
knowing actually,
The BioWare games are definitely
Yeah.
it's definitely worth giving a go. They're fantastic.
certainly
in my
what games to pick up, but it's like a time period that, unless you're really, really into the like really deep down the Star Wars rabbit hole, you probably know nothing about, which I feel like gives them a lot of creative direction to go with, actually, because they're not tied to any. Obviously, there's canon issues in terms of like what they can say happens in the future, but they're not tied down to all these characters that we already know and love, kind of thing. They can create their own completely new thing from it and just kind of go from there. And it'll be a really, really nice take to see what the Jedi Order was like, before any of the war. Because in reality, we only really see in canon at the moment the Jedi Order during the war, a little bit before it when it's sort of destabilized by Palpatine, and then obviously the galaxy after their extinction. But it would be nice to see just the galaxy as a whole and the Jedi Order when it was their high time, where they were the general peacekeepers of the galaxy kind of thing, and just how different it is.
Well, again, I was going to say, harkening back to season 7, a line that really got me was that was a line from Ahsoka talking to Rex. She's going, "The Jedi are meant to be peacekeepers. I've only ever known them as soldiers." And it's that thing, as you say, are we going to see them as the peacekeepers they are meant to be? The one thing I would say with the Acolyte is that I do wonder if, because there is between, so to give a bit of background for Knights of the Old Republic, at least the BioWare games, they're set, I think it's 1,000 years before, is it 1,000 years before New Hope or 1,000 years before Phantom Menace? I can't remember which way around, but it's a long, long time before the beginning of the what we would consider the core movies, because I think we all agree that you can very much skip the sequel trilogy.
Considering there's still the rumours that they're gonna sort of retcon it anyways, which I'd so hope
scrap
they
it.
do.
Yeah. So there's a lot of ground to play in with the Acolyte, and I think if they, because I can think of a couple of big characters from those games that maybe they might mention. But as you say, if we're talking about the high time of the Republic, the high time of the Jedi, I wonder if they'll sit themselves in the middle and go, look, the stuff from KOTOR is, because I can't remember if it has been taken out of canon or is canon. If they go, that is canon, we're going to go in this spot here. So you've had the stuff of the Mandalore, War of the Mandalore versus the Jedi. You've had the stuff of Revan and Darth Malak and Bassa and all their conflicts. Now we've got this sliver of time that's, say, 250 years before the start of Phantom Menace. Before there is kind of proper major conflicts going on, leading into obviously the rise of the Empire.
They have released a timeline. I'm looking at it now.
Oh, okay. Could you drop that in for us? We can have a look.
It's the Star Wars: The High Republic. Oh, okay, yeah. So in regards to the High Republic as a thing, it's a multimedia initiative that Lucasfilm and Disney and Star Wars have done. It's all in comics and books and stuff. So it's not, the High Republic as a thing isn't a series, but you can read comics and stuff about it. It's set 200 years before the Phantom Menace.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So in that time period I was
pretty
talking
much,
about.
yeah. It's a time, quote, "It's a time of peace and prosperity in the galaxy far, far away. The Republic is thriving, and the Jedi Order is at its zenith," if that's how you pronounce it. With individual
that is.
force wielders and their students exploring the galaxy, exploring the galactic frontier and keeping the peace. But the time is not without its conflicts. End quote. And according to the Acolyte page, that happens at the end. That is set at the end of the High Republic.
Okay, so because I was going to say, because obviously there's maybe one character we will see as kind of like more of a nod to fans and stuff like that, and that's obviously Yoda because he's several hundred years old and blah 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 blah. But as you were saying earlier, there's a lot of room for them to be able to, obviously tech-wise, they've got to kind of stick within the limits of what, would be feasible between, up until the beginning of the Clone Wars. But there's a lot of scope for them to explore different stories of, the Jedi dueling with the Force and that kind of thing.
To see the actual Jedi thing rather than the soldiers. So thinking on it a little bit in canon, we do see it a tiny bit in The Phantom Menace, where Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon are just dispatched to negotiate a trade route, because the war hasn't started there, and that is kind of their peacekeeping job. Like, they're there as Jedi representatives. They're not actually there to do any fighting.
They're the neutral party.
I suppose, plopping Skyrim in here, but I'm pretty sure the demographic of having played Skyrim doesn't exist thanks to Tom Howard. But, it's kind of like the Greybeards in
Tom Howard
in Skyrim, where they sort of mediate the Civil War. At that point in time, the Jedi are the neutral party of the galaxy, and they can mediate between the Naboo and the banking clan to get trade through. And then, it turns out there's something a lot more nefarious going on. But no one knows that at the time. But that's really all we see of them being general peacekeepers of the galaxy, rather than warriors.
As I said, there's a lot of scope for them to be able to go into. I do want to. Has anyone got any other thoughts on the Acolyte before I move on? I want to touch on the Rangers of the New Republic
Just want to quote something from the website quick. I know I'm doing a lot of quoting today, but I've actually got my sources lined up properly.
That's fine.
Quote: "The Acolyte is a mystery thriller that will take the audience into a galaxy of shadowy secrets and emerging dark side powers in the final days of the High Republic era." Oh. End quote. Just thought that it'd be good to throw that in there. They haven't released any art, or at least it's not on here, on the Star Wars website for it. It's just it's a very small paragraph.
Isn't it supposed to be at the point of like Darth Plagueis the Wise?
No,
sorry if you've already said this. I was paying attention, but
it's being the head writer for at least episode 1 is Leslie Headland.
Yeah, that's it.
She's done.
Yeah, is this who you
Russian
mentioned earlier?
Doll and a few others. The Bachelorette. She wrote the screenplay for that. And amongst others, she seems to have quite interesting movies in her background, so I reckon it'll be quite an interesting. Hopefully it'll be quite an interesting thing.
Fingers crossed.
We can only hope. So, lads, Rangers of the New Republic. Obviously, this is the spin-off that is reportedly going to be coming off of Mandalorian. We know one person that's not going to be in it, but in terms of this show, because obviously, I think we've pretty much set in stone that all of us are much more of a fans of the Clone Wars time period, or sorry, the beginning of the Clone War to the end of the, or to the beginning of the Empire.
Yeah.
Probably just spilling, and probably most of us just spilling over to the end of the Empire, and then we're not really fans of the New Republic era,
not at all.
Into the stuff like the sequel trilogy. In terms of Rangers of the New Republic, it seems like it's going to be, or it seems from everything I've read, that it may end up being more of kind of a show about the Rangers of the New Republic, funnily enough, as the title suggests, hunting what remains of the Empire. Does that interest us at all as to the range of the Mandalorian, or are we just the general thought of, it's a time period that I'm really not interested in, I'm probably going to ignore it?
If it's hunting down the remnants of the Empire, then possibly I'd love to see where it goes.
Yeah.
But if it's got like the rise. I mean, even if it has the rise of the First Order, it'd be interesting to see if it completes that.
Yeah.
Because it sort of just appears out of nowhere, doesn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
I mean, you end the Empire, you've got the Mandalorian now, but then out of nowhere there's this thing called the First Order. Where does that come
Yeah.
from?
I think.
So, I mean, it'd be interesting to watch. I mean, depending on how well it's written and stuff. I mean, I'll give it a watch. Like I said, I'd do with Visions, but
I mean, it's a live action
Hopefully.
series,
Yeah.
so they've said that much.
hopefully it'll be half decent.
They've said it will intersect with future stories and culminate into a climactic story event. Is what
So a
it says
movie.
here. So it sounds like it might be the
Or-
Iron Man of the Star Wars universe. It's the thing that brings everything
Well, I was
together.
going to say, it seems. Well, I was going to compare it to if it's intersecting with other stuff they're going to be doing, maybe it will be like end up in like a Crisis on Infinite Earth style CWDC
Ooh, that-
thing.
Oh, what with like Arrowverse?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, it doesn't really have much about it on here. I can click on the picture, that's about it.
As we said, apart from the fact that it's
Yeah.
one of its stars has been sacked for being an arsehole.
One of the stars has been let go. And
Who was that? Sorry, I've not seen that.
yeah.
Gina Carano.
Oh,
She made
yeah,
a tweet
sorry.
and got fired.
Really? That's happened in the past 2 weeks because we were praising her last week. What? That just. Oh god.
I
This
wasn't
is a
praising her last
very-
week.
Shut up.
No,
This is a very
2 weeks
controversial
ago.
topic. Basically, she made a tweet
Mm.
where she was essentially comparing the
something to the
she was
Nazis, wasn't it?
yeah she
Well,
was
no, well,
comparing
What she was doing was saying that being sorry, Jack. She was saying that she was comparing being a Republican in America right now to being a Jew in 1930s Germany.
Okay.
Now, with that being
That would be
said,
sacked.
reportedly, that was not the reason she got sacked. Reportedly, those at Disney were looking for reasons to get rid of her, and that tweet was just the straw that broke the camel's back.
Oh.
To be clear, I don't want to make it. I don't want anyone listening to think,
Yeah.
oh, it was this tweet, which is a disgraceful tweet. I don't want to make it seem like this tweet is the reason she got sacked. There was a lot behind the reason she's got.
I said
she
there's
got
a
sacked.
lot. She posted a lot more stuff to do with like isn't it the LGBTQ?
I don't
Q&A
know
as well?
about
Let's
those
not
ones,
let's not go into that.
Um,
Let's not go.
yeah.
Into
I just
that.
know the tweet
She made a boo boo. She got
pretty
sacked.
much,
Got it.
yeah.
Yeah,
Lots
A
of
lot
boo
of
boos.
boo-
Yeah, the tweet was definitely not the most well written.
thoughtful.
Yeah. Yeah, you can see
To
where
say the least.
potentially
Um,
she was coming from, but she did it horribly and used a horrible example. And
On- Honestly,
went bad.
going from this back into Star Wars, I hope that they don't recast the role. I hope they just get rid of the character.
Yeah, that would
Yeah.
be much better.
Because I
Yeah,
think if
yeah.
they recast the
Mm.
role now, it would ruin it.
Yeah.
I think they just have to get rid of
Yeah.
the character. Look, she is the sheriff of
It's
this
like
town
going on
now.
to-
We don't need her.
Bring back Mayfair.
We can leave her there now.
Well, I was going to say, it's like, I hate to be blasphemous here on this mostly Star Wars podcast, or this episode at least, Star Wars related, but it's almost like what I hope they do not do for the fourth new Star Trek film. Because obviously the actor that played Chekhov tragically died a few months after Star Trek Beyond came out. And we're all and there's a lot who are thinking, are they going to recast him, or are they just going to say he's got his own ship? We're just saying that's how we went out.
Don't recast.
Yeah, don't recast.
Was that one
Recasting
who got
is a terrible idea.
yeah.
Regardless of what
Yeah.
it is, unless it fits in the story,
Did not.
like Doctor Who,
There is
Yeah.
that fits. Unless you can come up with an
Uh-huh.
actual lore-friendly, in-story reason that this is now this person now looks different, you should never recast.
Harry Potter.
there is only
failed it real bad.
there is
Shut up!
there is only 2 times that that recasting has worked.
I swear to God,
Anyone
you
wanna
say Back
guess?
to the Future, I'm gonna slap you.
No.
go on?
Hold on, wait. This might be me being really
Anyone
stupid.
else got a
but
guess?
What about Back to the Future recast?
Really?
I
Was it his
No, it was his
parents?
girlfriend.
They got recast.
Was it?
There, the girl
was
that
it?
plays the girlfriend in the first one
I watched
is a
Back to the
completely
Future in
different actress to
ages.
the girl that plays the girlfriend in the second and third
Is it?
one. Yeah,
Oh, wow.
Oh,
it was another.
what about the really terrible? Go on, Tom, sorry.
It's a bit like the Matrix films. They made the first one not expecting to have to make 2 and 3.
Oh, fair.
So when it came round to making the second and third ones, they asked her to come back, and she demanded a stupid amount of money.
Oh.
So they were like, "No, we're just gonna get somebody else."
Because the ending of the first Back to the Future, if I remember, isn't like sequel, but it's going, oh no, they're just going to go off and have more
They
adventures.
kind of leave it open.
But then we're like, no, it made loads of money.
Yeah,
Let's make
if you
some
look
more.
at the re-release of the first film, the girl at the end of the film is not the same girl at the beginning of the film. They reshot that last scene and then overcut it over the first film, so that when it came to the second film, they can pick it up pretty much straight away.
Okay.
Well, I was going to say they had to reshoot the end of it for the second movie
Yeah.
anyway, so it was, I guess it's probably
That's
just on
why
the
they
docket.
did it.
Yeah, no, I did not know
Yeah.
that. Did not realise. I guess it's just...
What are these examples that
Yes,
they did well? I want to know.
Yeah.
Okay, so Rhodey in Iron Man, going from, I think, was it Terrence Howard to Don Cheadle?
Don Cheadle should have been it from the
Got that right?
beginning, though. To be
Yeah.
fair,
Yeah.
I will give you that.
Yes,
I will
yeah.
give you
But
that.
yeah, and then Ed Norton to Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ooh, see, I don't know. I like Mark Ruffalo. He's very good, but so was
I love
so
Mark Ruffalo's at home.
yeah, so was Edward Norton.
But I think, obviously, we have to say this, with the caveat that we don't know how Edward Norton would have fit into, or would have played off with the other characters in the MCU. But I personally think that the way Ruffalo and Robert Downey Jr. play off each other is so good, and I don't think Edward Norton would have been as good, in my
I do
opinion.
like
And
that.
Chris Hemsworth as well, when they did Ragnarok.
Can I also point out that Edward Norton
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
actually involved in the MCU at all, really, because even in the scene that it crosses over with RDJ and the General, he's not there. And so, really, like, you could film an entire new Hulk movie, and all you'd have to use is the same General dude, and then add that scene in at the end, and it'd be totally fine.
But it's again the licensing thing with Hulk movies, isn't it? It's apparently there's still quite a few problems with licensing, which is a real pain in the arse, it seems, for Disney recently, when they want to get their when they're trying to finish off collecting the rest of the properties that Marvel sold off when it was going into bankruptcy.
Disney. When will they stop?
Yeah.
When they get Tom.
The final,
Never.
the final few things I wanted to talk about are obviously. So the last few shows it mentions, or the last few things I should say it mentions with regard to the 10 Star Wars pieces of media that were announced for Disney Plus, were obviously third season of Mandalorian. That was going to happen anyway. It was super successful, though. I think Ieuan and Tom, you and I we've had the discussion that the ending of Mandalorian essentially makes that entire show or a third season redundant.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Unless they add a new story arc, which they're probably going to do. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen.
Yeah. The other ones are standalone films for Donald Glover as Lando, which I think should be excellent. We talked about this in the first episode. I thought Donald Glover as Lando was absolutely fantastic. There's also obviously the Obi-Wan
Lando,
go on.
the actual, I think the guy that's either producing it or writing it, was the creator of Dear White People, that show, and he's the one writing the story, so it should be a really good one, because that was actually quite a successful show.
Nice.
Yes, I've just seen here. Yeah, the as you say, the writer of Dear White People is developing the show, so yeah, it should be pretty good. The other two are, as you said, so the long-awaited Obi-Wan solo series or solo film, which I maintain to this day, like Ewan McGregor's the only reason that he did the Beauty and the Beast live action is so he could get that done. He was like, fine, I will do this bloody reboot, just give me an Obi-Wan standalone.
Directed by Taika Waititi, just saying.
Oh, yeah.
With Hayden Christensen reportedly set to return as Vader, which will be technically the second time.
I honestly like that they got Hayden back. I'm still one of the people who thinks Hayden got a lot of unnecessary shit after the first trilogy.
He did.
Because it was a lot of the
his
lines.
in Attack of the Clones, he is dreadful. He's dreadful in Attack of the Clones, but that doesn't. But Attack of the Clones generally is a bad Star Wars film. It's a bad movie as well. It's
definitely
poor.
not the best.
But I get what you mean, and also, I think Hayden Christensen. No, I think it kind of comes full circle with him potentially set to return because his career has been blighted by his appearance in the Star Wars prequels.
Ahmed Best.
As much as we love them, what's the name of the Jake? I can't remember the name of the guy that played young Anakin. His career has also been absolutely blighted by his appearance in the prequels. So I think, fair play for at least reports are saying them bringing him back and going, look, we're sorry we've completely screwed your career. We'll give you a massive payday.
Acting for a while after that, I think, because he got so much flack, which honestly he really didn't deserve.
It wasn't his acting; it was just the way they wrote Anakin's character.
It was the lines.
It was the script. Yeah, that's all Lucas's fault, isn't it?
Because
that's one of George's biggest sins probably is writing Anakin to be a whiny little bitch,
which you don't see in the Clone Wars, which is really annoying. You only see it in the films.
Matt Lanter is, the way he was written in there and the way Matt Lanter pulls it off is really, really good and actually brings some good solidity to the character.
Matt Lanter does it.
Sorry, can I just correct myself? I made a boo-boo earlier. The Obi-Wan Kenobi film will be... creative director is Taika Waititi, but the actual... the person that will be directing it is Deborah Chow.
Same.
She helped with Mandalorian season 1.
Okay. Oh yes, I remember seeing her name on some of the episodes. If I remember, as director, I think.
Obi-Wan film. I thought it was a 6-part 1-hour series.
It's saying it's a feature.
Oh, maybe we're getting
which usually refers to it being a feature film.
Who knows?
Usually.
They know they can't fuck that one up. It's like they're bringing out the big guns for Obi-Wan because they know if they fuck it up, no one's ever going to forgive them.
No.
And it's the whole reason Ewan McGregor came back. He's like, look, I want this thing. If you balls it up, then I'm never coming back.
No, I correct myself again. It is a series.
Cool.
It's a 6-episode series, 1 hour long, I think. It'll be interesting to see what they.
Kenobi?
You go.
It'd be interesting to see what they do.
It's set to be called.
Actually.
Yeah.
Because they're basing it from like Revenge of the Sith to the Empire.
Yeah. I mean, we've talked before about how, like, I've theorized that maybe it'd be cool to see how his, because apparently also according to reports, then a possibility that Liam Neeson might be coming back for it.
I like that.
Yes.
You'd hope so.
And I've theorized before, I think with Ieuan, that what I would really like to see if they kind of split it with, part of it being him on Tatooine, basically coming to terms with the fact that his best mate has just become the most feared Dark Lord in the entirety of the galaxy. And then also his early years alongside Qui-Gon as his Padawan.
Yeah.
They're kind of... basically what they get up to before Phantom Menace. But I think, as I said, I think I was talking to Ieuan about this. That would create quite a few kind of confusions in terms of how do they break up the episodes into pre and post Revenge of the Sith. How do they I don't think it would work. Like, I would love to see it, but I just don't think it would work.
According to the article, the series begins 10 years after Revenge of the Sith.
Revenge of the Sith.
Revenge,
So
it's him becoming Alec Guinness, essentially.
I don't think they're gonna do young Qui-Gon, or no, young Obi-Wan. Sorry, because they can have Liam Neeson as Qui-Gon because Obi-Wan can talk to Qui-Gon because he was taught how to do that by Yoda. So that's probably where they're going to use him.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, what I'm struggling to wrap my head around. I know they'll probably have already thought of this because they're already starting to shoot it, apparently. Is what they're going to fill it with. Because, I mean, 10 years after Revenge of the Sith, I mean, what's he doing? He's sitting in a desert planet watching over Luke Skywalker.
True.
Yeah.
The most interesting thing you actually see him do is scare off some sand people and give Luke Anakin's saber.
You're not wrong.
all on Tatooine.
I mean, there's the duel, but
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting point. I think the only thing that springs to mind is potentially we might see, because he seems to, in obviously the original trilogy, in episode 4, he seems to know Mos Eisley like the back of his hand. So a wonderful kind of like him being essentially a vigilante in Mos Eisley.
This is Obi-Wan Kenobi in The Vigilante.
Yeah.
the Star Wars
Vigilante of Mos Eisley, yeah.
universe coming in.
Greedo, you have failed this city.
Yeah. The final one that's set to be coming out is Diego Luna set to be returning, again reports, as Cassian Andor in his own standalone series. The only thing, and I think it could be brilliant, because I thought Cassian Andor was a really interesting character in Rogue One. There's only one thing about it though, and they've confirmed that the voice actor for K6, is that the name of the droid?
Yeah.
Yes, that he will not be appearing at least in season 1. So it's going to be much earlier in Cassian Andor's kind of journey through the ranks of the rebels. Probably even earlier than that. Probably to when he was a little youngster on the streets.
Okay. Because I read somewhere that apparently he was a separatist.
Interesting.
Oh,
He was actually he was in a cell. Like as a child, he was throwing rocks at clone troopers.
Huh.
Like nothing bad, but he was in a separatist cell apparently.
That would be interesting.
Oh wow. Okay.
Are they? Because I know they were trying to keep like the standard good guy bad guy thing, even though they did blur the lines between Clone Wars with like the Separatists and the Republic, and then it is kind of revealed that both sides are basically as bad as each other.
The heroes on.
Yeah.
I was going to say the heroes on both sides episode, which is like you see they've got the exact same arguments going on in the Separatist Parliament.
Yeah.
Which is, I've got to say, that's got to be one of my favourite episodes, because I don't know about any of you, I love the little political machinations of Clone Wars, because, you know, as much as the prequels tried to do it, you know, there wasn't really space for it, but when you've got kind of anthology series, they can probably get into, you know, we've seen the banking clan, we've seen attempted political assassinations, and some of the successful ones, and all this kind of stuff that's going on at the exact same time. Thousands of droids and clones are getting slaughtered on a battlefield.
When you think about it, all the Clone Wars all the Separatists want is to just be a separate, recognised government away from the Republic, and the Republic said no.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
No.
That's literally the war.
And then they threw a hissy fit.
Yeah. That's obviously
they threw a hissy fit and started deploying droids everywhere.
And you know, they obviously it was orchestrated by Palpatine with Dooku's help and all of that kind of thing. But it is pretty much just that. Separatists want to leave the Republic. So, other than the fact that they're being actively led by a Sith Lord in Dooku, they're really not that bad.
Sith Lords.
Because they don't really want anything that's too out of the way.
It does raise a question, doesn't it? Because you look at Mandalore, you know, Mandalore, because of the history it has with the Republic, you know, the Republic almost feels like, you know, we've got to give them
neutrality,
independence. Otherwise, the Mandalorian warriors are going to rise up and are going to be a massive pain in the backside again. So
but we left them alone, and all they did was civil war.
They use as a mid-ground.
And nuke each other.
I'm going to be honest, I just hate...
Instead of fighting other people, they fought everybody else, themselves.
I just kind of hate the Mandalorians
they fought each other
as a whole, I'm going to be honest. Like...
Yeah, well, we hate you.
Wow.
This is a controversial opinion. I genuinely hate the Mandalorians. Like,
Go on.
I find them incredibly frustrating to deal with, and I feel a lot with Ezra during a couple of the later Rebels episodes where, like, he's dealing with...
When they're on Mandalore.
Yeah, and when he's dealing with, like, a very pissed off Sabine and all of that kind of thing. And then Kanan straight up just goes to Ezra and he's like, you know, she's just so Mandalorian, like, you can't get rid of it. And it's the reason I find it so annoying is because they keep having the same self-destructive cycle. They're like, they all have these really, really close-knit codes they follow to the letter, but because they have that, they are either constantly at war with someone else or constantly at war with themselves. And when Satine when Satine tried to have the peaceful Mandalore, there was Mandalorian clans who didn't even want that and wanted to kill her and take over.
Yeah.
And it's like, and even like against the
which they did eventually do.
They did eventually do, and then that just got them caught by the Empire. And then not only are they fighting and pissed off against the Empire, they're still pissed off with each other.
Yeah.
Oh, don't forget the ones that joined the Empire to fight as well.
They joined the Empire to fight themselves.
I mean, what I'd say, Jack, is like you make some very good points. The one thing I would say in defense of Sabine is that she is like she's pissed off in those episodes because she's seeing a weapon she designed to essentially kill any Mandalorian wearing Beskar. She's seeing it.
I'm sorry, is that a Mandalorian that designed a weapon that kills exclusively Mandalorians?
Yes, it is. It is a Mandalorian who created a weapon that specifically kills Mandalorians.
But what I mean is that you can understand why she is particularly pissed off, because she's seeing something she designed and thought she destroyed brought back.
Wait, she didn't realize. She didn't realize that
they might use it for
she has to answer for her actions. What?
No, but with Sabine, it's not just in. I've got to say, I don't hate the character of Sabine, and I don't hate the characters. So like, I don't hate Bo-Katan as like a character, or all of those ones as a character. I hate the Mandalorians. It's like their very self-destructive nature.
So like, what you are, Jack, is a Mandalorian racist.
Yes.
I'm just about to say that.
No. Quickly throws blanket over my Mandalorian helmet that's sat next to me right now.
No, it's one of the things where it's I dislike it because it feels like they're constantly doing the same thing. Because it's like, we are at war with someone else, and now we are not at war with someone else. We must fight ourselves, and now we can fight someone else, and now we're going to fight ourselves, and now we're going to fight ourselves.
It's a warrior culture. It's what it does.
Else.
I mean, I was going to say that there's two things. Number one is, Tom, I'm surprised you're not getting more animated about this because you love the Mandalorians more than I do. I'm essentially defending them on your behalf here. Like, step your game up, lad.
I want to keep my friendship with Jack. That's what this is.
Thank you, Tom.
It's a healthy debate. It's not an argument. It's an argument if you start swearing at each other and threatening to hurt each other.
Exactly.
That's why I'm staying quiet.
But what I would say is, like, I mean, you have got a pretty decent point. Like, if you look at the history of the Star Wars franchise, so what we know up till then, so the Mandalorians have had a war with the Jedi, then they fought themselves, then they fought the Republic, then they had a civil war, then they had another civil war in which Maul was involved, and then they fought the Empire.
You haven't gone back far enough.
You
haven't gone back far enough. If you go back far enough, you find out that the Mandalorians weren't actually humanoid to begin with. So the Mandalorians were an alien race that originated on Coruscant, and it was one tribe of, one medium-sized tribe, and it was on Coruscant with something like 12 other human tribes. And they were constantly fighting against this one alien tribe because apparently everyone was racist back then. So there were more humans than there were Mandalorians, but the Mandalorians were bigger and stronger and basically evened it out. It got to the point where they were just like, nah, sod this. They left the planet, but took some of the not racist humans with them. And just over time, the Mandalorian, like the true Mandalorians, not the true Mandalorians faction, but the true Mandalorians, would died off over time, and human Mandalorians took their place. I think the first human Mandalorian was actually 4 generations. Like the first leader, Mandalore, as in the Mandalore, the leader of the Mandalorians. Was only something like 4 generations before Satine.
Oh, damn.
Really?
Yeah, you just don't see it because, again, it's part of that timeline that comes before the first prequel films.
True, yeah.
That can't be. Because as I said, like 1,000 years before, you've got the... like, if you think... so the average generation is... You know, if it's said they last 100 years, up to that point, right? You've got Mandalorians in KOTOR. Again, we're like, it's debatable whether that's because I'm not sure if that's canon. You've got
you misunderstand. There are human Mandalorians around.
Yeah.
But the first human Mandalorian leader.
Leader.
As in the Mandalore is the person that rules over all of the Mandalorian clans and houses. That person.
Yes.
That person was not a human. Up
I
until,
misunderstood.
Like, 4 generations.
Yeah, I misunderstood.
Yeah.
Okay, I see what you mean.
That's pretty.
There were human Mandalorians right the way back to before they left Coruscant. They were just counted as supporters back then.
Yeah.
Because I was going to say that in that canon the war with the Jedi happens before KOTOR, so it's that thing of so they have had that conflict even going far back in there. Yeah.
As much as it's very much conflict based, the Mandalorian history is very interesting.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I don't. When I say
It's just war, civil war, and death.
I should probably rephrase it when I say hate.
It's like the world.
It's sort of like the thing that makes me dislike it the most is just kind of the. It's weird because I really like the Jedi because I have a sort of bias for them, I guess. But the Mandalorians have an especially large sense of arrogance and stubbornness that just annoys me.
It's like, the Darksaber.
Yes.
That was made by a Mandalorian who became Mandalore, as in the leader of Mandalore, who then later went and joined the Jedi Council.
And then he left, didn't he? Because
he went and he made it, and then he made the saber, and then he left.
And then that saber became a symbol of. No, they stole it. No, he died, and then the Mandalorians later stole the saber that he made.
They stole it.
Yeah.
So theoretically, what the Mandalorians did was they pulled the British Empire. Except this time it just straight up did not belong to them. Well, no, except it did vaguely belong to them rather than the British Empire just stealing it for the fun of it. Or just stealing to have it. Because they were like, this is technically a Jedi artifact. Let's go steal it and use it as a symbol for our entire culture.
Yes.
And then it creates a plot point that isn't really addressed at the end of the Mandalorian Season 2.
Not really. Other than the fact that...
Did you just say plot point? It's not plot point, it's a plot hole.
Well, no,
it's wrong.
It's
so wrong.
I said plot issue.
Because following that sort of creed, he is then the leader of the Mandalore.
Of Mandalore.
Yeah, because of how they're...
But he gave it away.
All the leaders. Like, hang on a minute. By your own code, Mando is...
He doesn't want it, but he has it. He is it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he gives it away. What reason does she give that she can't accept it?
Because
she can't just take it.
I can fill that plot hole for you.
But also, she didn't!
And also it strikes you back to the thing of...
Technically, Obi-Wan's...
Yeah, true.
Obi-Wan defeated... No,
Ahsoka.
Ahsoka, yeah.
Because Ahsoka defeated Maul in combat.
Yeah. Technically, a Jedi is the rightful ruler of Mandalore.
Jedi is the ruler. Oh my, we've gone full circle.
Wait,
and on that bombshell, it's time to...
What about Rex? Because Rex actually knocked Maul out.
Even better, a clone is the real leader of Mandalore.
Not just any clone, a captain.
Yeah.
So is Rex the rightful ruler of Mandalore?
No, not just a clone, but probably the clone that is most loyal to the Jedi Order.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most loyal to his Jedi friends. Because
but I'd say
mic drop.
Yeah, I'd say actually it's the rightful ruler is probably Ahsoka because all Rex did was stun Maul with his blaster. Ahsoka actually defeated him in combat and kept him alive.
Yeah.
Actually, no. Wait.
He did.
No. You're both wrong. I think Jack was right when he called out on Obi-Wan because actually Obi-Wan's the only one that's defeated
someone with the Darksaber.
No. He's the only one to defeat Maul without external intervention.
Oh, true.
It has to be a
one-on-one duel.
It has to be a one-on-one duel for it to work. And if anything intervenes, then it's null and void. So if Ahsoka had won on her own, then it would have been her.
She did though, didn't she? She wanted to take him in alive.
Rex got involved.
because...
No, she knocked lightsaber out of his hand though, and then he was gonna fall to his death, but then the clones came in and
he didn't surrender either.
No, she caught him, and then when the gunships arrived, then they tethered him up.
He didn't survive. He didn't die, and he didn't surrender. Therefore, it was an intervention.
Yeah, that's true.
So technically, it'd be Obi-Wan.
So it's
unless someone defeated Maul after that. But I don't.
Yeah, but then during the Empire days.
Darth Vader is the real. Oh my
Real
god!
ruler of Mandalore.
Ah! Vader is the real leader of Mandalore.
God.
No, Luke is.
No, Palpatine. Because Palpatine kills
Right.
Vader.
Stop. Give logic. Why would Vader?
Because Vader killed
Because Vader
Obi-Wan
kills Obi-Wan.
in a one-on-one duel. And if Obi-Wan was still the leader of Mandalore from being
for a
born,
period of time, Obi-Wan is the leader of Mandalore.
so we're
Got
going
it.
for that.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan
Yeah.
is the leader of Mandalore. So when Vader kills Obi-Wan, Vader becomes the
Vader
rightful
becomes the leader.
The leader of Mandalore. And then when Palpatine...
Wait. No.
When
Palpatine
Palpatine
doesn't
gets
kill him.
No.
Palpatine
Yeah.
doesn't kill Vader.
Vader
Neither does Luke.
Okay.
So
Vader
it's
dies.
Who
right,
blew
so
up
it's
the Death
Vader.
Star?
So Vader
No.
dies as the rightful leader of Mandalore.
Yes, but who blew up the Death Star?
No, but Vader
Mando
wasn't on the Death Star.
Calrissian
Vader-
is the real leader of Mandalore. Oh my god.
He's got that alongside Bespin.
And he's still alive.
He is.
He's still canon, still alive.
He just doesn't know it.
Lando Calrissian is the
rightful
true leader
of Mandalore.
I think all jokes aside, I think it is supposed to be the one who holds the darksaber. So
It
So it's
is,
Mando.
yeah.
now it would be
But
Mando, yeah, because he won the darksaber in combat. I think the plot to fill the plot hole.
But again,
of,
but again, technically, it wasn't Moff Gideon's to lose, so it is Lando Calrissian.
true. Depending on, we need to find out how
Technically,
Moff
we
Gideon
just
got it.
filled in all the plot
Wait.
holes.
Are
Okay,
we
solid, didn't
Sam? Are we doing that like we're doing like wand duels from Harry Potter? Just because it wasn't Draco's to begin with, therefore it belongs to Harry. Is that how this works? Or are
Pretty
we...
much, yeah.
Right. Okay. Just checking.
Wait, okay, hold on. I know how to fix this. What if somehow Lando managed to end up with the darksaber, and then somehow Moff Gideon dueled, but Lando surrendered, and Moff Gideon didn't kill Lando, so then Moff Gideon has the darksaber.
But surely they've already...
I tell you.
The thing is that they need to... But again,
Jack.
in that case, it's still Moff Gideon, because Mando doesn't kill Moff.
No, but Moff surrenders.
Jack. I
Yeah,
can
I
tell
guess
you one thing for certain. The soundtrack over that fight would be called The Duel of Capes.
Oh, 100%. No, if we go for that logic, Moff Gideon surrenders because he surrenders and he's smiling.
Yeah.
Because he surrenders on purpose.
Yeah.
I reckon Moff Gideon could have genuinely continued that fight for longer. But he
could have
saw
done.
the moment he'd, at least fallen, and he was like, no. I'm a surrender. I know Bo-Katan wants to defeat me in combat, so I'm going to piss her off.
Yeah.
Even more.
Yeah. I know, I think...
So,
I like how his face changed when he saw Luke.
Oh, God, yeah, just
yeah,
that
it was...
old
Oh,
shit.
God.
So
So what we've learned over this almost 2 hours worth of recording is that the rightful leader of Mandalore is either Lando Calrissian or Mando. I'm leaning towards Lando.
Or technically it was lost
Or it
with
died
Vader.
with Darth Vader.
Technically it died with Vader.
Yeah.
Because
I
Vader
mean,
died
Jar Jar
before...
Binks is still alive.
Jar Jar is the real leader of Mandalore. No, I think, Jar... Wait, is Jar Jar still alive or was he eventually
Jar.
killed?
Oh,
Jar Jar...
No,
oh
well,
my
I think
God.
in Jar Jar's...
Yeah, that's how
canon,
he becomes
became a
Darth Jar
street
Jar.
performer.
nothing.
And he was a street performer.
Yeah, because he was
Nothing on
ostracized.
record. Nothing on record says he died.
No, true.
So.
Good old
And
Darth Jar.
Gun-Guns have got a lifespan of something like 120 years.
Oh.
So.
Fair. But
I still believe the downfall of the Jedi Order was between Jar Jar Binks and Coyote Mundi.
I'm done. That's
okay,
it.
wait, hold on. Before we end, I just want to add to fill the plot hole with the Bo-Katan thing that you were saying earlier, Tom.
Yes.
Yeah, please
so,
do.
in Rebels, Bo-Katan takes the darksaber from Sabine.
Yeah,
She
just
hands
to
it,
her.
and the first time Bo-Katan accepts it. Now, if you put in some logic and reasoning, from that point, Mandalore has fallen, and Bo-Katan's lost it again. It's not unreasonable to say that one of the reasons that could have happened is because people didn't legitimize Bo-Katan's rule because they found out
Yeah.
she accepted the saber rather than earned it.
And didn't win it.
She didn't win it.
I'm sorry. Are you telling me she
Wait.
just didn't believe enough?
No, I'm telling her the people did not believe. Well, the people did not support her
Didn't
because she.
I mean,
didn't.
they
Didn't
looked
she
like they
accept it
supported
in
her.
That was only one
yeah,
clan.
they
That wasn't all of them.
no,
No, it wasn't.
There was a
all
couple
of
of
them.
clans, to be fair.
There was multiple clans.
Yeah, but
And
Do we
technically,
have to have like a?
if we're going down this way, the Mandalorian politics states that it's not the clans that matter when it comes to politics, if it's the houses. You have multiple clans inside a house, and the house is led by the most powerful clan in said house. So whichever way that clan goes politically, the rest of them are expected to follow.
Well, either way, I'm thinking something happened with it.
There was a representative for most of the houses there, so just saying.
Well,
And they all cheered and went, "Yay!"
But then, if something did change and then it fell, and then Bo-Katan could still believe maybe this all happened because I didn't win it, because she is a woman incredibly set in her Mandalorian values. So the second time it's coming, she's, I don't know, having flashbacks or some form of PTSD. And like,
This
no,
is all
I'm gonna take
speculative.
this. It's all speculative, but it's like me trying to fill this plot hole. Just like,
Stop trying to fill a plot hole when there's a plot hole there I can exploit.
I am filling the hole.
No. Stop it.
Can I know? I like how this is flipped from Jack going the Mandalorians is shit, and now he's trying to basically.
plot.
Oh no, I
fill a
still
plot hole for
hate
the Mandalorians.
I'm just
No,
trying
but-
to put.
but
I'm just trying to put my
But then, Jack, I love the
Thingy
you
eye on
look
it.
at the opposite side. Tom was trying to defend the Mandalorians and is now pointing out plot holes and saying, "I want plot holes to exploit."
Yeah. Yeah, no, I still dislike the Mandalore.
That's because I just don't like Bo-Katan as a character.
I like Bo-Katan as a character, but I hate her as a person.
No. She's one of those characters, though. No, seriously, she's one of those characters. I'm going to link this back to Harry Potter
Yeah.
again.
Oh God.
With what's her face? The one in pink that turns up and everybody
Oh,
hates.
yeah, I know.
Dolores.
Dolores Umbridge. She
Rich.
is a stupidly horrendous character, but
Yeah.
she's
Awful.
supposed to be. You're supposed to hate
Yeah.
her.
Hate
Yeah,
her.
yeah.
Okay? I think that's sort of almost the same with Bo-Katan.
Yeah.
Well, you're
Especially with her
supposed to
background.
hate her.
You're supposed to not like
She
her.
was part of a
I was going to
terrorist
say, do you think
organization.
it's kind of?
You're supposed to accept her, but not like her.
Yeah.
I was going to say, do you think it's kind of a knock-on effect of, because she was part of, a kind of part of Death Watch,
She
and
was
she
one of
tried
the
to
main
bring
leaders
down
of
her
it,
own
wasn't she?
sister. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, she basically killed her
and
own
then-
sister.
Yeah. And do you think there's like, at least in your mind, potentially like a residual thing of, she was part of a terrorist organization in Death Watch that for God knows how many seasons you were like, I'm being told, and I am developing a true hatred for this lot. So even if one of them decides upon seeing her own sister die, like if that's the straw that breaks the camel's back for her, then it's like, actually, no, I'm not gonna like you, Bo-Katan, because you only realize, oh, maybe this isn't a good idea for Mandalore when you saw your own sister die.
It wasn't Satine
Like,
who
you didn't-
dying, though, that got it. It was the leader of the Death Watch dying that got her. When Maul killed... I've forgotten his name, so if...
Pre Vizsla, is that it?
that was it.
Yeah,
It wasn't when
Prius.
Satine died. It was when Pre Vizsla was killed and defeated by Maul.
No, when
That
actually,
makes
if you look,
Bo-Katan look even
if you
worse.
look back,
even her own sister's
No,
death didn't make her turn.
no, it's worse than that. If you actually look back at the show, hang on,
Yeah.
my headphones have died. If you actually look
God.
back at the show, the Bo-Katan isn't like when she watches her sister die, she actually smiles a little bit. Like the animators put in there that she actually
Yeah,
smiles
she
a little
doesn't
bit when
care.
it comes to watching her sister die.
It is
Oh,
just
really?
Pre
It's that
Vizsla.
messed up.
Yeah, because it's when she sees the leader that she's followed and believes in. And she's like, hold on, this Maul fella's used all of our Mandalorian things and traditions and completely legal Mandalorian rights to take over Mandalore legally. I don't like this. This didn't go the way I planned it to. Time to switch sides.
Yeah.
But then she puts it back on Obi-Wan in season 7 when he doesn't want to help Mandalore.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought you meant something to my sister. Like,
Yeah,
hang
I
on,
thought
yeah,
she,
you're the one who
yeah,
killed
I
her.
thought she meant something to you. It's like, hang on a minute, Bo, you're the one that smiled at her death.
Yeah, Bo
you're the reason
Bo
she's
is kind
dead.
of an arsehole. And like even
Yeah.
in The Mandalorian, she's still
Yeah.
like her entire thing, she's hunting Moff Gideon so she can become the controller of Mandalore again. It's like her entire Like, to be fair, they stuck true to her character arc. It hadn't really changed, though. The entire time, she wants something to do with the ruling of Mandalore.
She wanted to be ruler of
and she wants
Mandalore.
Mandalore
Even if you look
Because her
at
sister got it instead of her.
Yeah.
even if you look at like Rebels, when she goes at Sabine, is like, why did you create this weapon? Like, you just got to look at, as we said, Bo's own history and going, hang on a minute, you're the one that brought a lunatic dark Jedi to Mandalore and allowed him to take control, and you only got pissed off because he took away what you thought was your right.
Yep. And can I also point out, going back to another thing of the whole don't like the Mandalore thing, do you know what they did after that? Half of them followed Bo-Katan and they started fighting each other again. Because they decided they didn't like their own virtues that they all swear to follow by blindly, to then overthrow them to go back to blindly following the virtues that got him in power in the first place.
Yeah.
Hang on, my headphones have just died.
I think we're all having the same problem. We need to end this.
I was going to say, I think on the fact that two people's headphones are the perfect way to end. All right, promotion, gentlemen. Tom, anything you want to shout out that we're doing over the next couple of days or weeks?
Promotion. Check out my Patreon, because I've got a new animation thing that I'm working on at the moment. An animation project. It's sci-fi. It's not got anything to do with any other IP, so it's completely unique, and I reckon everybody will like it. Early stages at the moment, but I need people. I need fancy people that know what they're doing on computers, and to do that, I need money to pay them. So go to Patreon. Also check out my YouTube channel and my Twitch and my Facebook for all the updates.
Episode 2, wasn't it, of Project Winter went up literally earlier today as we're recording this, so lots of stuff coming fairly frequently on Tom's YouTube channel.
Cyberpunk every Monday.
Links will be down below, but that's Griff's X Blues.
Whoop whoop.
Jack, have you got anything new to promote this week, or is it still just your Twitch?
No, I was going to make a Twitter, but I didn't. So, we're looking at the incredibly well-prepared Tom here with all of his things to plug, and here I am. You can currently find me on Twitch, that I have not used for a while. You can also find me, which I will make to be put in the description of this video, a Twitter account.
Also, if you want to support Jack in any way, he's also helping me on the animation.
Correct,
So go check out the Patreon.
So basically, you're using that as an excuse to get you more money.
Yeah, plug.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm gonna use this logic and So give Tom more money, which theoretically might actually get me paid.
Yes.
That's that. Yeah, pay Tom to pay me.
It never will. It never will.
Yeah. Ieuan, anything
Trust
you want? Ieuan, anything you want to promote?
No, nothing.
Do you want me to do it for you?
Not even your Twitch?
Yeah.
Go check out Ieuan on Twitch, FTR Games.
I really need to start streaming again.
He does F1 and driving games mostly, and Star Wars Battlefront quite regularly. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I have people to play with.
when he's got people when he's not bored out of his mind.
Indeed.
Or I do some Breakpoint items as well.
Oh, and Breakpoint. Yeah, shooty games.
Boring sod you are, aren't you?
Yeah, these two are terrible.
I'm just incredibly well prepared.
Hey.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sam. Is this going up on the new YouTube channel?
It will be going up on the new channel.
Cool. So we got a new channel for this, which means you need to plug
Thank you very much. I'm glad you asked me this week and not when you missed out 2 weeks ago. On Twitter at Wilbur_99, my ramblings about football, wrestling, and as I've put in my bio, being a wannabe games journalist. So yes, there's that. There is my YouTube channel where I upload kind of games journal stuff. I haven't done for a couple of weeks, admittedly, but I will be soon. That is Bloody Brilliance Games. Link will be in the description. And that's pretty much it, if I recall correctly. Unlike this, I don't have a lot going on. I'm not like Tom, where I've given myself an unholy schedule.
I've actually got more free time than I was expecting, so I don't know what you're talking about.
And technically, I'm with Tom
Yeah,
the animation
I guess so.
so I've still got a kind of a schedule, you know.
Pay me money.
Pay Tom to pay me, or pay Tom to also pay Tom.
I should also mention final thing that I forgot I put in the description in the last episode. If you're interested in Football Manager stuff, I've got a football channel, that's the Football Network. Again, that'll be in the description. So lots of different places where you can check us all out. We're not going to make a promise on if we're going to have a guest next week because we have not planned that far ahead. I'll be honest, the only reason Ieuan was on this week is because we mentioned we were going to get him on and we thought we kind of had to. But with all that...
Ouch.
What? It's true.
And on that bombshell, my God,
What, we mentioned that he would be on the next episode, and we thought we need to get him onto the next episode. We need to get a guest on the next episode as well. So it worked out.
We're missing the
That
important
wasn't a
thing here.
deliberate
The
slam
one
at
thing
Ieuan.
that the one thing we've all learned here is that Lando Calrissian is the official leader of Mandalore.
No, he's not. It's
Darth Vader.
Lando blew up the Death Star.
No, we all know.
Died naturally.
To end the show, we all know the true ruler of Mandalore is Mickey Mouse.
Guys,
Yes.
Disney's here. Disney's here.
This
Yes,
no.
yes.
Run.
Also, of course, check
Run.
out. Of course, you're watching this or listening to this on either the How to Adult podcast YouTube channel or the SoundCloud channel. Go and check out the other one if you're on the other one. Basically, that's a really bad way of saying it. But with all that said, thank you for listening to episode 2 of the How to Adult podcast. We'll be back in 2 weeks with another episode. From all of us here, thank you for listening. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.